Oh yeah, you're Culver City.
Studio's gonna be in Calabasas.
It's not too bad.
How selfish is he?
That's where I live, dog.
Yeah, but all the people you're gonna have on the show don't live in Calabasas.
It's tough.
Piece of shit.
Yeah, we ready.
Got to make some changes, man.
Yeah.
You're not happy the new studio's gonna be in Calabasas?
No,
Have you ever been out there?
I have, but it's
like
not
it out
close. It's fine. You know what I mean? It's fine, but it's not convenient.
Yeah.
You live in what area?
Yeah, Magic Mountain's nice too, but I don't want to go there. You know what I mean?
Universal's dope.
Right? Yeah.
I'm not hitting it up all the time. Yeah, I get it.
I like the
get it.
Lakers game. We got damn, man.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, Calabasas is cool.
That would be cool, man.
But you notice, like everybody, I think that everybody's going to be moving out of cities because people. You see this thing? People don't want to go back to work. People are not
at all.
Wait, the people that are working are like, I don't want to go back to the office. Is what
Correct.
I'm saying. There are also other people that are like, I don't want to go back to work.
But what's
people
weird
trying to work
about
from
that
home.
is people forget. It's like they act like we haven't tried this before. Like Silicon Valley back in the day when it's expensive out there. When they were like in their uprise, people like Facebook and Google all them were like, hey, we got an idea. How about you guys work from home? Like they've tried this before. They're like, why don't you guys work from home so you don't have to find a place close? We'll just work from home. We'll get together like once every 2 weeks. And everyone's like, yeah, that's great. We have kids. That sounds ideal. After a year, they looked at the productivity and it went freaking. It started off popping and then they just got comfortable. Like we ran this experiment before, man.
Well, I mean, they were forced to do it because of
Had to, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know what the numbers are now, but it seems to be like for certain industries, it seems to be okay. I mean, I think that
For some people, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think for like in Hollywood, let's just talk Hollywood. It's like writers' rooms. So then you got you could live anywhere. I mean, I think the benefit of it is like changing like where people live and how we live. Like, do we have to be in cities? Could it be like maybe now I can live in like even further out than Calabasas?
You can live in like Van Nuys.
You can live. That's not even that far. That's close. I'm talking about further, even further out.
Oh, yeah.
Ventura.
Yeah, even further than that. Like maybe you want to live in Oxnard. Maybe you want to live further
Santa
past
Barbara or
Oxnard.
something.
Maybe you want to be like a country sort of feeling, and you'd be like, or even like, hey, I want to live in Wyoming. Maybe I got a place in Wyoming.
But there's something about it, like getting together, like face to face. Like a lot of that stuff. It depends on again, to your point, it depends on your job.
Yeah, but everybody got a bitch at work they hate.
True.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? Everybody got that. Everybody's like, oh, I gotta go sit. My mom retired because of a lady she worked with.
Shit.
Okay, so I'm just saying, it's like, yes, there is a sort of communal. There's got to be a hybrid way to do this.
There has to be.
There has to be a hybrid way.
Well, I know what Showtime's doing because they have that expensive ass building there in Manhattan. What they're doing is they can come in any day in the week, but I think it has to be twice a week or 3 times a week. So 3 times. So if you have Monday off, then you go in the office Tuesday. You have Wednesday off, go in Thursday. You can try and dictate your schedule.
Well, you just
that's not too bad because I would love the separation. Like, I don't want to work at home.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's when you have. Well, no offense to you, but it's because there's a lot of people out there that got shitty living conditions. Like, so if you're living in like a 1-bedroom apartment, yeah, you don't want to work at home because you already hate your place as it is.
Yeah.
But if you have like a 2-3 bedroom place and you
pull
go,
off.
this is my, because everybody got, like, you have an office, you go,
Yep.
this is where I work.
True.
Every place else is where I live, but not everybody has it like that. But what it turns out is going to have to be about good management, because how do you have to stay on your people. So it's like, yeah, you only got to come in 2 days a week. But hey, I want that report. Remember that report I asked you for on Wednesday?
You better be on it.
That shit got to be here on Wednesday.
Yeah, if you're going to be in your pajamas 3 days a week,
Do your thing. Take care of your kids.
Yeah.
You need to go pick your kid up.
but you better get your work done.
Yeah, exactly. And now I don't want to hear about your
Correct.
kid either. I don't want to hear about your kid was sick. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about your kid.
But like I have a friend who works in computers, like data analyst and that stuff, and he's like, dude, I get my work done for the week in 2 days.
Oh.
He's like, but then they would make me come to the office Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was done with my work by Tuesday. He's like,
Dude.
so if they would just be like, hey, bro, you have to get this done this week. I don't care if you get it done on Monday, Friday, whatever it is, then you have the rest of the days off. He's like, I would be more productive and get it done. But now I know it takes me whatever 2 days to get done. I'll trickle in one day, trickle in another day.
Okay, when I work, and I had a regular job, I was working in the office.
What kind of work?
I was working at a school, but I was like working in the office. I was like the registrar. I was
In
doing like
administration
that kind of
building
stuff. Yeah,
and shit?
administration
Yeah.
office, right? So
boring.
so like, oh yeah, oh my god, that's why I'm not doing it anymore. God. But I remember the principal would be like, ask me for something. And I remember one time he asked me for this thing, and I was like, oh shit, I got the shit done in like 10 minutes. And I said to myself, I was just about to get up and go give it to him, and I went, oh no. He can't get this in 10 minutes. Because then this motherfucker gonna always think,
Expect it. Then you
get
get
shit
more
in 10
work.
minutes. You know what I mean? So I was like, no, I waited like 2 hours. And he still was like, oh, thank you. That was quick. I was like, okay.
Can't let him punk you like that.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I totally get. So if you have like, if you're at home, then you could be like, I got that done in 10 minutes. Now I'm like watching ESPN, and I'm like, you know what I mean?
But if management was like, yeah, whatever it takes, just get this amount of work done this week, then we're good. Like, all right, say less, man.
I guess
I'll
it's
get it
just a
done.
different mentality. It's like a different psychology of like how like office dynamics change. It just becomes about like, you know, then you want to hire somebody that can take care of business right away. Like, you know, it's like, what, you know, are you looking at just qualifications of like degrees and all that stuff? What do they do? And how do they work? I mean, I guess that's the kind
More
of
black
thing.
and white, right? Because you
Yeah.
don't care if he's weird. Like if he's coming in the office and he's just a weird dude, you know, like the
But he
weird
kicked
dude.
ass at work.
Yeah, he's great, but now you don't have to look at him or deal with him.
Dude,
There's no more sexual harassment.
Well,
Like no one harassing a girl via
they're
Zoom and shit.
yes, they do.
Really?
Online.
Yeah, dude.
Savage.
Dude,
What are they sliding them
the
DMs?
camera kind of falls down and it just
He's
dick
all,
is just out. You know what I mean?
Oh, whoops.
Ooh, is that my dick? I'm so sorry.
I thought it was Pantless Friday. Whoops.
You know what I mean? It's just like on the bottom of the screen, just kind of like
Just his head
waving.
popping out.
And he keeps going, oh, sorry about that. Sorry.
Fridays, I get hyped for Fridays. I'm
He's
so
like,
sorry.
Yeah. That's exactly how people would be. I mean, it's like,
It's not going to be as bad, you know what I'm saying?
well, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Like, for a guy, like, is there still this idea that, like, if I'm going to be on a Zoom, I need to dress up?
At least the top half.
Yeah.
Party on the bottom,
Bottom half
business on
doesn't
the top.
But what about it? That I don't know anymore now. Because what was that? Wasn't there a correlation about looking your
Yes.
best? You work
Yep.
your best.
Yep.
So I mean, I don't know. Is that going to go away?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, what we-
that's
Like
what-
Jay
you know
Rice
what I
said,
mean?
look good, play good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would expect it too. Like if I owned a business, like a straight up business, 9 to 5, and we were doing Zooms, and every day Larry's in his jammies.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Larry, show a little pride, bud. Your
Or
gut's
like, you know,
sticking out.
Linda's got her rollers in, and a baby like
Smoking
this.
a
Like, so
cigarette.
I was looking at the files, and it's like, bitch, put your baby down.
It was
to the
5
crib,
minutes.
dog.
Yeah, put your baby in the crib. What you doing? You know? I don't know.
The other problem is my boy. He has 3 kids, and he's a big wig. I won't say where, but he's a big wig, and he's like. The problem is working at home is the line gets blurred. Like my kids don't give a fuck.
Right.
He's like, so I'll be like in the middle of the call, kid would come in, dad. And he's like, damn, dude.
Yeah,
Like
my money guy is like that. My accountant guy, you know, he's like, he's got a 4-year-old, and 4-year-olds are on their schedule.
Yeah.
there
You know what I mean?
go,
Then, you know what I mean? So like when he's in his office, she's like, "What are you doing? It's playtime."
If you're home, it's playtime.
Yeah, so you have to like, I guess you have to like sneak out the door, "Bye, honey," and then you just like sneak in the room or something. I don't know. I
So
mean,
figure out some creative
Kids
shit.
don't care. I was on a call the other day, important call. My kid thought his friend kept going fart. I'm like, bro, you just gotta tone it down for dad for 10 minutes. Fart. I'm like, all right, dude.
Damn, he couldn't even give you 10 minutes.
No, he didn't. They don't care, man. They don't give a fuck.
yeah. Well,
He's like, what's 10 minutes?
well, once they know they get into you, right?
They're smart, man.
Yeah, I'm getting to you.
They'll
That's
keep
the
going.
they just want a response. But you know, weird people at work is like, it just depends on the profession too, because like I have these like well, not accountants, but what is the tax type, you know, what are those called? CPAs. So I went into the CPA office that I go to because I was having like this, you know, when you're incorporated, man, it's the worst.
It's a lot.
It's just so fucking complicated with all the paperwork. So I was like, damn, I had
Yeah.
to. I'm sitting in a room of just weirdos. Those
Number nerd.
number nerds, dude. I'm talking about you.
That's all they know.
On the spectrum of just like, you know, it was just like, man, it was like an autistic circus.
Autistic Hall of Fame.
Yeah, dude.
Figuring out your taxes.
Just throwing numbers at you
Yeah,
all the
man.
time
And
and
I
shit.
was like, wow, brilliant. But it's like, what is it about like everybody that seems to be that's like that? Brilliant at what they, you know what I mean?
Well, they're
like
good at that.
Asperger's and all that kind
They're
of
good
stuff.
at that aspect.
Yeah, they have this
But
thing.
then the social aspect, it's usually, and not that they give a fuck. Like, I don't care, dog.
I have a buddy of mine. His name is Dylan Dickstein. I met him on the Logan Paul podcast.
Okay.
And he's this guy who's like a good friend of mine now. And he's like trying to be an astronaut, you know?
Oh, damn.
And he was,
shit.
and I was just casually talking to him. He was like, I want to go to Mars, you know? and he's actually in the program right now, and he's like in line.
Oh, so he's smart.
Yeah, he's a smart dude. And so I had him on my podcast too, and I was just talking to him, you know. His I don't even know if you can find it, but he's on Instagram as Dylan Dickstein. And he was like, but like one of the things I loved he said to me, and I could tell he's on that, he's there someplace, you know what I mean?
He's on the
but he's
spectrum.
functional and he's like a cool dude, you know what I mean? But he said to me, like, he was like, I used to be a fat kid. You know, he was a fat kid. And I said, well, what did you do? He was like, well, I just Googled how to lose weight. And he did that.
They're very literal.
Damn.
He's like, what do you mean? I Googled how to lose weight. I lost weight. You're all right.
There he is right there. Cool. Well, that's my good buddy
guy.
right
Which
there.
guy?
And he's in the program. He's been in the Mars
Look at him.
program.
Oh,
and he's
shit.
trying to.
No, he get
He used to be
ready.
a fat guy?
Yeah, he used to be a fat guy on the right, you know, and he's like, and I always use that story of like when people say, "Oh, it's so hard to lose weight," and this and this and that, and I was like, this kid really was like,
Look at his ass.
He was like,
Biathlons and
he
shit.
lost weight. He said, I Googled how to lose weight, and it said eat less and do this, and he was like, and
That's
I
what
did
I
that.
did. He's like, I listened to him. I lost weight.
And so,
Oh, damn, crazy, man.
yeah.
Damn, really? It worked?
And then he's like, and what I'm saying is he's a ladies' man, and he's like, you know
Good
what I mean?
for him, man. That's dope.
I don't want to put him on blast, but like, you know,
Still,
He's
yeah,
doing
that's
his thing.
impressive.
yeah.
But
yeah.
I was at this birthday party, and this I was talking to Dad. You know, especially in LA, it's like, oh, after preschool, it's like, where'd your kid get into? It's like college, like, you know, Berkeley or SC.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, my kid's going there. Like, oh, that makes sense. That's gonna be great for him. I go, where'd your kid get in? I won't say the school. I don't want to out him, but it's a school for special students. And his daughter was a genius. Her IQ was higher than Elon Musk.
Oh.
And I was like, damn, dog. I was like, hopefully her and Tiger get together. Smart ass girl. She'd be the next Elon Musk. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, you must be thrilled. He's like, yeah, but man, there comes different problems when she's that smart.
Oh, I
when
can
she's that
imagine.
smart. He was like you see,
How
her
do you
sis-
parent?
I was like, is her sister genius too? He's like, she's smart. She's not her sister.
Yeah.
Her sister's like from a third world. He's like she was reading at one, speaking full sentences at one, which is unheard of.
Oh,
He's like, we
that's-
can show her
that sounds
something.
annoying.
Yeah, he was like, we can show her. It does, right?
What a little monster. You got my milk?
And then you get, is this is 2%, Daddy?
Yeah.
This isn't the organic.
Is this oat milk, bitch?
Yeah.
Give me one.
You're one
real
bitch.
milk?
No, because when a kid is smart like that, you go, don't do that. Why?
Yeah, explain why I shouldn't do it.
Because right now, I'm totally okay with blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you're like, all right.
Because I'm your dad. Oh, because you're my father figure. I have to listen. Yeah, God damn. But he was saying that like her problems are different because her social skills aren't as good.
Yeah.
He was like, so I have to deal with that.
They're honest.
She can't connect with anyone.
She just doesn't vibe like the sister does. He's
She
like,
will.
she has
You ever seen that show on the Spectrum?
No.
Oh, you gotta
You've never
watch
seen
it.
it on the- oh, yeah,
it's
you
a
don't watch
dating
TV.
show of like for autistic people, and it's so
Oh,
touching.
I've heard of it. I think you talked
my
about
God.
it.
It's one of the best shows of all
It's
time.
so touching. You'll be boo-hooing.
You said one of the dudes just didn't give a fuck. He just would just say shit.
Well, there's one girl with red hair who would fart. You remember her?
Oh yeah.
It was like, damn, girl. You already got the fucked up teeth. You know, farting on the date too. She's like, I just like to be up. I like to be up front. I was like, well,
Okay.
nobody's
Here
been
we
telling
go.
us.
Here we go.
Like,
You know
no
what
wonder
though?
you're
Can I
single.
tell you something though? Here's the thing. They all lie at first anyway. Like I'm saying, like, you know, I don't want to say regular, but let's say regular chicks, you know, like
Yeah.
who are not have that issue of being autistic, whatever it is. I don't know what you want
She
to
was the
call
one
it.
farting.
That's her. Oh,
She
damn.
didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, but they all. What I'm saying is, after you've been in a relationship 2-3 years with a chick, all of a sudden they doing shit. You go, where was this?
My girl's
Where
never
was this
done
at
it.
the beginning?
My girl's never done it. Never.
She won't fart in front of you?
Never.
My
keep
girl,
it
my
sexy.
girl is a monster.
Oh, really?
Your girl a Dutch oven and shit?
My girl is a monster, dude. My girl.
You guys laugh about it?
Yeah, because now she's like, it's an intimate thing for her. She makes it intimate. For when I do it, though, it's like, I can't believe you. You make it so hard to love you. You know,
You're like, damn, I'm just following you.
just farted. Well, it's because you gave me that food. And it's like, it's always, somehow it's
There's a
always my
breakdown.
fault.
Well, you know I don't like broccoli.
I think chicks make things intimate. Like, my chick will shit and, like, have the door open and try to make eye contact.
Oh,
Yeah. She
Hard
looks like this. Look at me.
hard back.
She's like,
Hard
you know
back.
what I did? You know what I did today?
What are you
Hard
doing?
fucking bad.
And it's like,
No.
it's just a whole, like, it's just a, you know
gotta
what?
leave
But
something
I
in this.
encourage, like,
Being yourself?
Be completely yourself. Be as vulnerable as you need to be.
It's honest.
All your insecurities, whatever it is.
I mean,
try
I'm
to
like
make it
medieval
okay.
times, bitch. You better have full makeup on.
No, your
Dress.
girl's living like in a hell.
Yeah.
She's putting her makeup on, crying. I gotta be beautiful.
Hey, she was living her best life at Cool in the Gang the other day.
Yeah, she went to Cool in the Gang.
Yeah, she was all cool in the gang.
Front row.
Well, that's why she puts up with that.
Yeah, that's why she put up with it.
Yeah, you.
She had her titties out. I'm like, girl, you know what you're signing up for? She's like, well, I'm like, you're in the
Trust
front
me,
row.
if you were a
it's
front
all
row.
70 to 80-year-old dudes. Like, and then she came home. She's like, they were singing to me. I'm like, yeah. You think I just won by 40? Get your tits out. What'd you think was gonna happen?
Yeah, if you were,
You know what you were doing.
If you were a shift supervisor at El Pollo Loco, she'd be farting all the time, motherfucker. Just FYI. That's why Bill Gates got divorced. The first thing she did was,
He's like, fuck
you, Bill.
They said Bill was wild, dog. Have you
course
heard
he
the
is.
boys? It's like, yeah, the kid who in high school, the dork who didn't get any of the girls, develops fucking Microsoft and has $1 billion. Yeah, he's throwing parties. Like, can you believe this? He'd throw naked parties at his house, all these girls.
Yeah,
like, yeah, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you think he was
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
He probably into the craziest shit.
Wildin'.
Yeah, well,
I bet his friends like, can we really do this?
What's that shit called? S&M, right?
No, it was like, what's that Tom
BDSM.
Cruise movie? What's the Tom Cruise movie?
Oh,
Eyes Wide Shut.
yes.
It was that kind of shit.
Get
Some
out of
Illuminati shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know?
We
Wear a
all got to
mask
sign
and shit?
NDAs.
Yeah, well, you just like, you have to sign an NDA and
Take your cell phone.
You know? And it's
Have
probably
you,
easy.
have you ever been to a party where they take your cell phone, you sign an NDA? It's like, damn, what kind
Yeah,
of shit we
actually,
getting
I
into? This
have.
shit about to be lit.
They didn't take my cell phone because I think I was a grown ass man, but Justin Bieber's 22nd birthday party, you had to sign a NDA.
Really?
Makes sense, though.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what happened.
And so here's what happened, everybody. Eric gets sued. We never hear from him again.
No, but it's like, if you think about, like,
I like it when
Can
they do
money
that.
buy anything? I saw an article about, like, stripper stories. Okay, it was just strippers telling their
Like stripper tales.
stripper tales, you
It
know?
should be a podcast.
And one of the it really should, you know. And one of the girls was like, she goes, "Listen, I saw my dad's best friend he was at the strip club, and he paid me 20 grand for the night." And she was like, "I don't regret it at all." And it's just like, okay, do you? You know, you need to hear more stories like that, because all the stories we hear is like terrible. But I mean, so extrapolate that to like your Bill Gates. You know, your Bill Gates money. Like, it's like somebody approaches you, you're a college student, you broke, and he got the kind of money where it could be life-changing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, you
I'm
said
talking life-changing. So, you know, you go, instead of like, it's all about your mentality. But if Bill Gates is like, yeah, you're going to be at this party, you're going to get $250,000 for the night, but, you know, everybody, don't worry. We got like, you know how there's COVID tests, and it's like he got like clinics. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like, everybody's checked and boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom. But you got to suck everybody off or whatever the thing is.
$2 million.
Or you have to like walk around naked and serve drinks.
yeah.
For $2 million, you doing
For
work.
$2 million.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
You know what I mean? People are gonna be like, "Is that Montez from Workaholics?"
Is that Montez with his shirt off?
Yeah, I know. Is that, you know what I mean? It's like, so I know.
What are you doing?
For $2,000, you would suck off the boys at Microsoft?
No, I was just kidding.
Oh, he said walk around naked and hold the plate. That's what I said.
Oh, that's how the night starts.
You would do
homeboy.
it. First of
You
all,
think you're just holding sushi rolls all fucking night?
Who the fuck does he think?
No, yeah, come on.
He's the guy that's like this. So all I gotta do is this, right? Yeah,
all
man.
you gotta do
That's
is
all you
serve
gotta
fucking
do.
daiquiris all night.
That's all you
Nah,
gotta
bitch.
do. You gonna be there.
As soon as the last daiquiri's
Me and
gone,
Christian.
Bill's gonna go, okay, sweetie, it's
all,
time to go to work.
He's gonna be the Mandingo guy for all the wives.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
You be doing backflips.
All these
and
old
everything.
white wives
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Get that black dick
what
out."
do they call it? The cuck holding?
Yes.
Cuck hold? Yeah.
Do another backflip. Guarantee it.
Lift that 315.
Don't pass out this time.
I'm just saying. Look, everybody listening right now, and even everybody in this room right now, you hear that. You hear Bill Gates says, "Here's $2 million. You come to my party and you do whatever."
Yeah.
We're all sitting here going, "I don't know though." I can see Paris's face. Paris is like, "I would never do that." You would. You would, because it's not a possibility, but it is a possibility.
Well, I've
I've been to parties. I'm not meaning to
ahead.
cut you off, but I'm
Go
just
ahead.
saying. I remember being like a part of this Samsung program where it was like they gave celebrities free phones all the time. It was this concierge program, and I remember going to a party, and I was at the party. Now, have you ever been to a party where there's just hot women just walking around,
Yes.
and you can tell they're not necessarily.
no one knows them.
They
were
are
hired.
paid to be at the party
Oh.
just to be hot, walking around, and and it's like, yeah, that's a part of it.
Not like a regular ass, like a celebrity party.
Just even a regular
Even
party.
a regular part of the pay.
Oh, shit.
Like I have a friend. She's like, I don't say the madam, but She was a stripper when I first came to LA. She was one of the first friends I met. And she was talking about all these celebrities. They'd have like poker parties or whatever, and it'd be private. And she had these baddie strippers, like 12 of them. She's like, they pay for the services, and then what the girls want to do after then is on them. I have nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Everybody signs NDAs.
I'm not even saying that.
But she was saying like these girls made bank. Like they'd be like, oh, you got another one of those parties? She's like, they were set for the year.
Yeah.
One party.
Set for the year.
Yeah. And then when I first went to LA, I was dating this girl, and she kept going to Dubai. She going every month. She kept going to Dubai.
Don't even get me started,
bro.
Don't even get me started,
Joe.
about Dubai.
You didn't have any clue?
Well, no. I met her. She kept going to Dubai, and she's like, "I'm doing this cell phone thing." And
I'm going to do a photo shoot in Dubai. Okay.
She was like, "It's cell phone thing," and then I'd see on Instagram she'd be like on this giant yacht, but it was just her. I'm like, "Well, somebody has to be driving that fucking yacht."
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. We weren't serious, but she'd go every month, and then finally her friend, we were at dinner. She's like, "Yeah, she's a toilet girl." I'm like, "I'm scared."
A
What'd
what?
you say? She's like, "She's a toilet girl." I'm like, "What the fuck's toilet girl?" Like, toilet girl is these famous like Saudis fly these girls out, and then they do whatever to them. I was like, "Oh, that makes sense. Good for
Really?
her." Yeah.
Did you end it right after that?
No, I don't know judgment. I don't give a fuck. Get your money, girl.
Yeah. I mean, we feel that way now. I mean, I think that
Even back then, I was like, all right,
you know what?
that's your hustle.
I'm older than y'all. I come from an era where hookers were
Frowned upon.
and it was always like you would think like they're on the street, they got pimps, and then they had those shows on HBO, Hookers at the Point, Hookers on the Prowl, Hookers on the Stroll. So it was always like these terrible stories, but I don't know, I just have a different mentality about it now in terms of like, I mean, sex work is what it is. It's like OnlyFans is sex work. If you even you even go down to anything that's paying for any kind of erotic, goes under sex work. But even like working at Hooters is sex work. Even if you're like you're at a restaurant and you have to wear some like I remember being at in Vegas at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant, and the waitresses, I was uncomfortable. I was like, damn, these, like, if let's say the girl's a 6, she wearing a 3. Okay, like they all, and it was
that's
like,
what they have to do.
yeah, man,
Gordon Ramsay's
yes, dude,
Yes.
and it was like real tight, and it was like it was like camel toe tight, and you're just kind of like, damn, what's like
You
what?
tipping higher.
What?
It's a form of like they're gonna get their money, like because
So it's like, damn.
that's like Hooters. Yeah, that's like Hooters. But like I had this is recent. Where he was showing me these Instagram girls. I'm like, damn. He's like, yep, hooked up with her. I'm like, what the? He's ugly too. I'm like, how the fuck you doing? He's like, oh, you never heard of? And he said the thing. I'm like, no. He's like, dude, any of these major girls you see, you can hook up with them. He's like, there's a price. I'm like, no fucking way. He's like, yeah, man.
Of course there's a
And they're
price.
making money, daddy. But it's like, if that's what they want,
Yeah.
how's that any different than her going on a date with some rich dude, him buying drinks and then paying her
It
rent?
is different.
Like, how so?
I think it is different, and we feel like it's different. The mentality of it is like, okay, first of all, I think it's bad on both sides
You
because
think it's bad?
I'm saying it's psychologically damaging in it sometimes because when you monetize yourself, when it becomes like you put a price on your worth. Because first of all, I always say this: the worth is based off what the other person can pay. That's the real value. Because it's not the value of this money that you think. So, like for instance, if you say, you think, well, $100,000, that's, yeah, but to Bill Gates, $100,000 is what?
Shit.
It ain't
Not
nothing.
Snickers bar.
So to him, he's treating you like you ain't nothing. But like if I'm a dad with a family of 4 and I gotta mortgage my house to get your pussy,
kids, yeah.
that's valuable.
Yeah.
That's like $1 billion to me.
Yeah.
I've ruined my life to get with you. I mean, so I'm saying like what the value is.
Yeah.
Is so, and then for the other person is like, for the guy mentality is, it's like, damn, like, so you're only with me because I'm paying for this?
Correct.
That can't be the best feeling either. If you're one of these people, but
It depends because
the asshole ones don't care.
well, I don't think it's asshole ones. Like, let's say
I'm talking about the guy. If the guy
I'm talking about the guy here. Let's say you're married, or let's say you're a big time celebrity, and you don't want to deal with all that bullshit.
Yeah.
And you pay this, you don't have to deal with anything. No, your wife, your kid, nothing goes back on your family. There's no Instagram. You don't have to deal with any of it. You have that peace of mind where you pay this price
Until she writes a book.
Yeah. unless she's Stormy Daniels.
Or
she's
what's
like,
the other
NBA,
one?
I'm good.
What was the one that was like the best dick sucker ever? Like, what was it?
Superhead.
Superhead?
Yeah.
Didn't she write a book?
Yeah.
A tell-all book?
Yeah.
Here's all the dicks I sucked.
Little Wayne. It was like a bestseller too.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck's buying that thing?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, who's buying it? Like, okay.
Like, damn, Superhead sucked up fucking James Harden? That's cool. Let's take a little break from riffing with the main man, Griffin. I got some facts for you. Did you know that a current American flag was designed by a high school student? Did you know that? That's fun, but here's what's not fun. Americans spend over $21 billion every year on insurance. We deserve the facts. We want the facts. That's where The Zebra can help you. The Zebra compares car and home insurance quotes every major provider in under 5 minutes, giving you all the facts you need to make the right decision for you. It's all free. It's the fast way to find the right coverage at the right place and the right price, all from a provider that you can trust. In fact, The Zebra saves shoppers an average of $922 on home and car insurance combined. And that's a very fun fact. All right? Get all the facts in one place. Start comparing quotes for free today by visiting thezebra.com/fighter. That's thezebra.com/fighter. I know you saw my thick ass working out at zoo and you're like, oh, what's he wearing, man? What shorts are those? Well, those are the 7-inch interval short with the liner. All right. And that is all from 10,000. They have versatile shirts, lightweight, yet they're durable. They're perfect when you're sweating, doing the circuit training, gym days, anything else you can think of that you want to do in a t-shirt and wick away the sweat. All right. XL was sent to me. I love them. They fit great. They have new fight shorts that launch this Sunday. Go to 10,000.cc/pages/fight short to check it out. The quick drying, sweat wicking for weight reduction, comfort truck liner. All right, we got you covered, man. 10,000 makes the highest quality, best fitting, most comfortable training shorts that I've ever put on my thick ass thighs. And 10,000 is a direct to consumer company. There's no middleman, so you get premium fabrics and trims that these other brands can't compete with, man. They can't compete with. They have over 9,500 5-star reviews, free shipping, returns, lifetime guaranteed. 10,000 offering you guys 15% off your first purchase. Go to 10,000.cc, enter the code FIGHTER to receive 15% off your purchase. That's 10,000, TENTHOUSAND.cc, and enter the code FIGHTER. Hey, when's the last, have you ever been a club guy?
I've never been a club. This ain't club face. You know what I mean? Oh man,
they're awkward, man.
I don't know.
So when I first came to LA, I was at like Greystone and shit.
You know what? Yeah,
Bootsy Bellows, and it's just
but you were like, when the UFC fighter days. That's the kind of guy that's at the club. You know what I mean?
Still,
you just don't come off as that guy.
No, I hated it. Hated it.
Well, for me, like it was like later when I started to I remember, I was in Vegas with these two friends of mine, these two girls, and they're like, one of them was like, she's one of those. She told me the real story about having to go to Dubai, and then she told me the real deal.
It's interesting.
Yeah, they bring you to Dubai, and then the guy was like, "Okay, well, you're here. You gotta fuck everybody."
What do you think you can?
Yeah, he's like, "I don't want to do that." And it was like, "Well, you got to go home. Good luck."
I know you got jet lag, but
they get kicked out of the hotel. Now they're at like a Motel 6.
They told straight to leave.
Yeah, it's like you got to go. You know what I mean? So it's like anyways. I'm in Vegas with her because they're just buddies of mine, and they go. This is the height of workaholics, and this is one of the reasons also I don't like going out, because that age group at the time that goes to bars and clubs and goes to Vegas, they love workaholics, so they want to go to this local bar in Vegas, and I go, I don't think we should go. I don't think it's going to be fun, and they're just like, well, we want to go. They're hot shit, I said, okay, Sure enough, they got into the bar. Oh shit, Monte! And then they want to come take pictures. Everybody wants to take pictures.
It ain't fun. It's a mean.
I don't like it.
It's a mean greet for him while you guys drink.
And then I go like, this is how I did it too. I would take a picture. I would go like, yeah, she'll take the picture.
Oh yeah, put it on them.
Yeah, she'll take the picture for you. And then it turned into, she was like, he's just trying to sit and watch.
He's a human being.
Yeah. Then it also turned into a thing where it's like, I don't care how hot you think you are. Look around this bar. There's a dime a dozen of you hot chicks.
Correct.
Yeah.
They only one Montez in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't care. I remember one time I was in Vegas and I was like at this, I was at the taxi line, and there was all these girls behind me, and they're young, they were just like, cackling like they're on a chick podcast, you know what I mean? And then I turn around just to look at something, and one of them was like, you take a picture to stare much? And I was like, oh, fuck. bitch, please. You know what I mean?
Take a picture
chill.
and last longer.
You know, and then their boyfriends come up and they see me and they go crazy.
They know.
Oh shit, what's up? And I was like, oh, all right, take a picture. And then we're taking a picture, and I look at the girl and I go, who's the hot chick now?
That's how you do it, dog.
What's up, bitch?
You know what I mean? But it was like, and I'm not saying, listen, by the way, I was recognized 1 out of 20 times in like regular society. So it was, I always thought it was the nice kind of fame. You know, it was like just enough. It wasn't crazy.
over the top.
But there were certain places where the age
You could not
range,
go.
it would just be like, it would be too much. So I don't drink anyway. So I don't like going to bars and clubs. And then like, I'm not going to be out here dancing and the music's too loud. And I'm like, what? You know?
Where were we at? Because I know you get anxiety being around bars and crowded places.
Oh, I get
we were in
stressed out.
remember we were in
Austin, yeah.
And I don't like crowded places. Not that I get anxiety. I just don't like big crowds. I don't enjoy it. So
It's the alcohol
I'm
for
there.
me.
My friend's taking me, and he like runs Austin. He's taking us to these great restaurants, and he's like, "Oh, we gotta go to the Speakeasy." So we're going there. In my mind, I'm like, "Oh, Chappelle." I think about Chappelle. I'm like, Chappelle's fucking dreading this, but you're doing it because it's my boy.
Yeah.
So I turned to Chappelle. I'm like, "I'm gonna be here for 2 minutes. I'll meet you outside in 2 minutes."
Bruh, he was outside in 2 minutes.
He's like, "What's wrong with you, man?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Bro, I'm 30, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into this. The only people I want to talk to are right here, man. I'm all set on friends."
Yeah, I walked in for a second. And I was like, dude, this is stressful.
Bro, at my age, you give me a good meal, some whiskey, I can talk to my friends. I'm fucking. That's a great night.
I used to have jokes about this because it was like I was at a certain, because like when I was on Workaholics, I was old already. You know, I was like, I was supposed to be an old guy, but it was a hip young show, so I was like having these experiences, but I was like I never had in my entire life. You know what I mean? But then like I remember this girl hit me up. I was single. All right, let me just put that out there. And but it was like I used to do a joke about it because she'd be like, she hit me up like at 11:30 p.m. talking about, hey, me and some girlfriends are getting ready to go to the club. You should come with us. And I'm like, getting ready?
I'm winding
It's
down.
11:30 p.m. You're not even at the club yet?
I'm in my PJs. It's like
I've been in bed since 9:15.
Who's trying to fucking get ready at 11:30?
No, that's like that. My friends in Vegas are like, "Hey, we're going to Dre's. Opens at 3." I'm like,
Bye.
In the afternoon?
Yeah.
Like, no, after the club ends, all the industry goes there. I'm like, listen,
No, thank
that
you.
ain't me, girl. What happened? Nothing good happens after 3 a.m.
And then I'm like, you want me to meet you at the club? You want me to meet you? So what I'm gonna look like? You know, what am I? I'm gonna look like somebody's dad. You know, I'm gonna walking around, Jenny, you seen Jenny?
I know you here, Jenny.
I'm gonna look like somebody's father, and so you just go. It just doesn't make sense. You know, I don't know. I just feel like I remember one time I was out with Craig Robinson. And we were at this club, you know, because Craig's cool like that. You know what I mean? He's cool like that. Even though we're the same age, he cool like that, right?
Everybody fucks Craig.
We out at this club, and Chris Brown was there. And I've never,
yeah.
and it's just the way, that dude is a ballerina, the way he dances. I mean, he can really.
Best dancer.
You know what I mean? He just,
kills.
way
And
he,
his
you know, he just be,
You on West Coast?
West Coast.
he be floating on the stage,
He
man.
can dance.
But the attention, I was like, damn, to be someone like that. I've never experienced that. I never will. You know what I mean? It's like, it's too late now.
Who well, though?
You know?
Like, if you think about
Not
it,
too many
like his
people.
fame level,
But I'm talking
everybody knows Chris.
but I'm talking about not even just his fame level, but he
He's just cool.
beat a bitch down, and chicks are still lined up to get with this dude. Okay,
You're like, I'll take a left hook from
almost
Chris.
more after
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Can I point out he won Grammys after?
Yeah. Still making bangers.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, when we were there, and it was just like, I was like, oh, this is, I shouldn't be here.
Humble flex. I live close to him. I was driving home. I see a line. Bigger line I've ever seen in my life. Bigger than Disneyland. All these people. And, urban. Like, tons of black people.
So you were scared for your house. Just say it. He was like, what's going on in our neighborhood?
I did call the cops.
He had an impromptu neighborhood watch meeting.
Just driving around looking extra.
I did go on the Ring app and report it. No, but I'm talking about a line like longer than Disneyland. A line. I'm like, what the fuck? So I just pull up to see what's going on. He had a yard sale because from all his like music videos, people should give him clothes. So he just wanted to get rid of his clothes. So he had a yard sale out of his big ass mansion. And just had all his clothes and shoes out front. So this line is people just trying to buy his shit.
Shit.
I'm talking
How ghetto is that?
a yard sale.
Come
Chris,
on,
what are we
man.
doing?
What are you doing?
A
You
yard
don't
sale.
got an assistant that can take this to Goodwill or
A
something
yard
like
sale in
that.
the hills.
It's not like you strap for
Come on,
cash,
dude.
man. It's not like you strap for cash, man. I'm talking mile long line. Mile long.
He does got the fashion.
Oh, yeah.
He said, "This is the shirt Rihanna scratched me in."
He had some wild
She
shit.
got some hits in. Let's just be honest. Did you see a picture
Oh, no,
of
it
him?
was a fight.
Yeah.
Fucking
No,
raw.
we got the picture after the 4th round. That thing was a fucking fight. That thing was a fight.
I don't know.
That was a crazy time.
He didn't get like he's interesting because obviously America was so mad at him, right? Like we all love him.
Well, it would be
And
different
she's fine
now.
as fuck.
It would be different
Oh,
now.
now he would
Yeah,
be
it would
put
be,
away
it'd
to
be, yeah,
prison.
it'd be now. It'd be
But it's like you kind of forgave him because he kept coming out with those slappers, those hits. It's like, all right, all right.
Is that why we forgave him?
I feel like it. Like
of course.
he just powered
Because of
through
the
it.
slappers?
Yeah,
He
man.
just powered through it.
He was making good
With a
music.
fucking hit.
Are you kidding?
Well,
What are
look
you
at Michael
talking about?
Jackson.
Double your pleasure.
Bro.
Yeah.
Well, that was
coming out
before he
And
lost
dance
that.
forever. Oh yeah, he lost the double big.
Yeah, he lost that.
Yeah.
They're like, we
Oh,
can't
right.
have you on our bubblegum act. But the thing about Michael Jackson, even he was so talented. There was all these rumors about him and little kids, pictures of him in the media with little kids. Like, whose fucking kid is that? But he came out with them slappers. So like, all right, Doug.
Well, I think it's more than that, but like even with that situation, it's still skewed too. It's like no judgment either way. I don't want to get into a thing about that, but all I'm saying is they never show you all the pictures of him with little girls too.
Never.
They never show, and there's a lot of them.
Now listen,
There's a lot of them. It wasn't like he was exclusively little white boys.
No.
It was like he
That's just
he
the only
loved
pictures
kids.
they put out
That's the only
there.
pictures they put out to push
and
the
I'm not
narrative.
defending Michael Jackson in any facet here, but what is weird is all this stuff came out after he got the masters of the Beatles and his own masters. Like all that stuff came out when he had that much power. Like no one in music's ever had that much power. And then this stuff came out. And then if you notice in the court of law, there's a great podcast on it. On the court of law, he's never been convicted. He settled outside of court. So everyone's like, oh, you're guilty. You settled outside of court.
No, and
and
by
he's
the-
going, no. I settled outside of court because this thing goes all the way through trial. I'm going to lose so much money.
No,
I
that
settled-
wasn't the reason, man. That wasn't the reason. I went on a rabbit hole on this shit too.
Me too.
So usually you have a criminal trial first, and then you have a
Civil.
civil trial. Usually you do it that way. All right.
Okay.
That one case that was settled was they were going for civil charges first. It was civil first, and so what they wanted was, okay, well we're going to settle this, but you have to come to the trial. You know, and the guy they just vanished.
because they got paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
But it wasn't.
But usually-
it wasn't for he wasn't.
But
it
usually
wasn't,
a civil trial goes down. If they go straight to civil, usually civil goes down because you don't have like hardcore evidence.
you don't need as much burden
You
of
don't
proof.
Need, yeah, you don't need.
So they could have,
if you,
like-
if you go criminal, you better have your shit.
You got it. But they could use things from the civil
Correct.
trial. That's why it's the same thing. Like that's how OJ they got
Yeah, I was
OJ.
gonna say,
Like
Is that
OJ was
OJ?
found guilty in civil.
But they also had more evidence at that point too. They actually
Yeah,
had him in
we
the
had all the
shoes.
evidence.
Yeah, they had him in the shoes.
had
They had like, you know what I mean?
gloves,
They had all this
Video
shit.
of him stabbing and shit. And they're like, "Nah, you good."
He was doing a
man."
selfie. You know, it's like,
That's one of the
Selfie with
craziest
Nicole.
things.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, I was like, you know, it's getting back to it, not to get down a rabbit hole of that shit, but it's
And then
like
that- but that rabbit
when you're
hole's fun.
famous,
That
it is.
rabbit hole's fun.
I tell people all the time that people that argue about Michael Jackson did, you know, it's like, okay, you know, go to the
Research it, man.
do research.
Yeah, those people probably didn't go down the rabbit hole.
Man, it's
We
a lot
can't
of
listen
stuff.
just the media. It's a lot
There's
of
a
stuff.
lot of lawyers
Do you-
have YouTube pages about it. There's a lot of.
Do you know who Adrian
press.
Foster is?
Really?
Adrian,
Sounds
he
familiar.
was a running back for the Houston
Oh, yeah,
Texans.
yeah, yeah.
He has a great podcast, but he went down, and he's not a lawyer, and he'll tell you, he's like, I'm not a lawyer. I just looked into all this stuff, and I spoke with lawyers and broke it all down. He has, like, I think, like a 4-part series where he breaks down the Michael Jackson thing, and at the end of it, he's like, man, I have kids. I've looked at all this stuff. From what I've learned and speaking to lawyers who were involved with the case and speaking to Michael Jackson's family and also the accusers, he's like, I don't think he did it, man. He's like, I know I'm getting a lot
he
of shit
was,
for
like,
this.
easily
He's like,
paid.
I don't think I don't.
You know
think he did it.
what I'm saying is that just like all I'd suggest for you to do is like for people watching right now that are like having a visceral reaction to like you know.
Well, if anything we say on here gives you a visceral
Yeah, that's true.
reaction,
But I would say to you, just for your own fun of it,
look into it.
Go look into it.
It's so
Yeah.
fun.
I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole of stuff of
There's
people.
so much information out
Because
there
you know
about
the
it.
thing is, it was pre-internet. Okay, so now people have been investigating this for 20 years, and you start like even the Wade Robinson guy. This guy wrote. He
Don't
wrote
get me
a.
started.
He wrote a forward, a 900-word. I love Michael Jackson.
Defending him.
Defending him for this book that they made for him. This it's like a archive type book. It's like $250. Like this, they made one for Prince too. And this guy wrote the forward for it. And this is like, you go,
and he was very close to Michael Jackson.
like, why would you write something like that?
Now peep this. Now that Wade Robinson, we can go down this hole.
That was that documentary, right?
So he did the doc on HBO, right? Where you're like, I guess I believe these two. But that Wade Robinson, what's interesting about him is, they brought back that Michael Jackson show in Vegas. Wade Robinson, before he did this documentary, went to the Michael Jackson family. Was like, hey, I'd love to be part of it. I want to do all the dancing scenes in it. I'll help with that. They're like, no, we're good. We have somebody. They went, okay, cool. Then he went and did the documentary.
Ooh.
Well, I mean,
it's strange.
there's a lot. They've actually been, because I've been down a rabbit hole, they've actually sued so many times.
Oh, yeah.
The case has been thrown out so many times. The other guy is claiming that he would have been a world-renowned director if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, and that's why he deserves millions of dollars.
Okay.
I mean, you look into their lives.
The judge's like, let me see your script. Get the fuck out of here.
They've sued so many times.
Oh, yeah.
This recent one, after this documentary, has already gotten thrown out again. So it's crazy. But my thing about the documentary...
Here's my thing on this. Before I don't mean to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
Imagine Michael Jackson's innocent. And the slander on that man's fucking name. Imagine if he is. It's not like an OJ thing. We fucking know OJ.
Look, was he
with
weird?
Michael Jackson? Can you say he did?
I'm saying, was he weird? Yeah. But here's my thing.
Did he grow up weird though? Did he not have a childhood and he had this horrible father?
No, it's no
by him
excuse.
doing that Neverland shit and having kids around, and he wanted to stay the night at these kids' house because he didn't have a childhood. Was he trying to make up time? You know what I'm saying? But then as a grown man, the biggest pop artist in the world, is that strange? Yeah. He was a weird fucking dude.
Yeah.
He was a weird dude. He needed fucking heavy medication just to go to sleep because the anxiety was so bad, and that's what killed him.
Look, if you're going to make a documentary about something so important, get your shit right. That's all I'm saying.
I need both sides.
No, it's not even just that. I'm saying get the shit right. Don't have things like the guy says in the documentary that I was molested at a train station that wasn't built yet. Like, don't have that kind of stuff happen. That was one of the big things.
And they put that in there.
Yeah. It was one of those big. And what I didn't like about the documentary too was like you could tell it was like multiple takes. Listen, if you're telling your story, do you need 10 takes?
Yeah.
Then is it?
You just know it flat out.
Them bitches on First 48 don't need 10 takes.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
They get right the
Like
first
when you
time.
watch the documentary, you can see the backdrop that the sun has changed multiple times. There was a cup in the back, then it disappears. So you know that he was like, okay, let's do it again. Say it again, and let's make
Say
it more
it
believable.
this way.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't like that. I don't like that feel of it. I'm not saying it's true or not. What I'm saying is the documentary, you got to get it right. It's like any kind of thing, any kind of story about someone. Even with the people that we know, they put out these articles and stories. My thing is like, this is important. Get your shit right.
Get it right. Yeah.
Get it right.
Make sure it's
Because what you're
100%.
doing is you're ruining that person.
You're gonna ruin someone's life.
So you better have all
so
your
then
ducks in
get
a
it
row.
right. That's all I'm saying.
That's my thing with Michael. Again, I don't know if he's innocent, but what if he is, dog? What if he is? How fucked up is that? How fucked up is it?
He's dead? What can you do now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like what
But they won't play his music anymore, right? You never hear his
Oh yeah,
music.
you do.
They play it
on the radio?
I hear it all the
Yeah,
time.
really? I listen to the radio.
Here's the difference. Like, it's like this is what I thought. This new documentary comes out, then you would think hundreds of people would be like, because when the Cosby shit came out, it went from 0 to 60 like this.
In an hour.
Like this.
Literally.
All right. Where's everyone else? I mean, I know that it's hard for people to, when you're a victim, I know that this is like victims have trouble coming out. They have anxiety, they have shame, all these things. For good reason. But like, there are a lot of cases where, look at these recent cases. Harvey Weinstein, everybody came out. Like I'm talking about, there was people that should have came out before was coming out. Like, yeah, this happened to me too.
Did you hear Quentin Tarantino talk about that?
What did he say?
Rogan hit him. It's one of my favorite interviews. I love Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Interesting dude.
The most interesting. And Rogan.
Even though Bruce Lee's family doesn't like him right now.
How about Bruce Lee?
yeah, they
Bruce
go
Lee was like,
hard
I'm
on
sick
him.
of white men talking about Bruce Lee. It's like, all right, bitch. But anyways, okay. Talking about the people that gave him jobs and chance in Hollywood. Okay, anyways.
Or exploited him for his talents. And,
Yeah. But Rogan goes, it happened because, Harvey Weinstein funded all of most of his big projects. They were business partners. And Rogan was like,
You could be a monster and
Rogan,
enjoy
Rogan's
talent.
like, Rogan's like, it had to be weird, like all this coming out. Quintino said the most interesting thing, he goes, what's weird about it is anybody in his circle, in his atmosphere, knew that was going on. He's like, any of those stars that are like, oh, I can't believe it, they knew what was going on. He's like, I didn't know rape was happening, but like, I would be at his office, and he'd be, I viewed it as, it's the boss chasing the secretary around the office, and he was like, this is the 90s. So he's like, all right, he's a weird dude, loves girls, like that's his thing. But anyone who was in his atmosphere, even a little bit, knew exactly what was going on.
And here's the thing,
and he's like,
though,
it's sad because he was like a father figure. He's like, it's fucked up.
But on top of that, though, by the way, and that's why the Me Too movement was important, because that sort of behavior was normalized. Like, all of us had a sort of attitude of like a casting couch. Well, I get it. Oh, that happened. And so we could, but what we're saying now is like, that ain't supposed to happen. It ain't okay.
And that's why I like the Me Too movement.
That's what I'm saying. It's not okay.
When you go after the bad guy, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
The problem is when you run after, once you run out of those bad guys and you start going after good guys, because you want to keep this fire going. It's like, whoa. You got the bad guys.
I know, but
now you keep going.
But that happens.
Mission accomplished.
I know, but the pendulum has to swing like that. There's going to be some casualties of war when it happens, and but that also helps. It's like when the Aziz Ansari thing happened. That was the first time that put some brakes on the Me Too movement, because we all started to go, hold on. So bad dates are now,
now.
Now,
here's where Aziz fucked up, and he's one of the most talented guys on the planet. Where Aziz fucked up, if you watch his special, he comes out and he does this weird apology at the beginning. So now you gave in. Now you're making it where you were in the right here, Aziz. You went on a date, didn't work out. But now you give them power because you went for a special. Hey, I just want to start this off. Oh, damn, dog, I'm here for comedy.
I know,
I feel like he's still fine. I mean, like...
No.
He was before.
No, I understand it, and it is what it is.
From the apology.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, is like, because what we're saying is, like, okay, if you're acting like a monster, if you're being an asshole, if you're being somebody...
Let's go after the monster.
I'm saying, you look, was he a nice guy? No, I mean, this is more deeper, man. It's more nuanced.
How so?
But yeah, because it's about how we interact with each other. It's like we use this phone to like we bypass meeting someone in person, getting to know them, talking to them. We go from 0 to 60. We go from 0 to intimacy like this.
Yes.
And then he got it. They're talking. They're yapping, and then for the guy's perspective, it's like, I think we say what we mean what we say. So if I go, I want you to come over and I'm going to eat your pussy for an hour, I think we actually mean that. But I think a girl might be hearing that and be like, "Oh, he's
crazy.
He's crazy.
I'm gonna go over there and have tea."
Yeah, and I'm like, "Hey, bitch, can we go to the court minutes?" I said,
Well, here's a weird one.
But that's not okay, is what I'm saying.
It's not okay. But it's also a blurred line, right? It's like with Trevor Bauer. Is anyone following the Trevor Bauer case? The all-star pitcher for the Dodgers. Have you heard about this?
No.
So Trevor Bauer, I signed a 3-year, $110 million deal. He's one of the best pitchers on the fucking planet. Dodgers should win the World Series. They're with him. He's a monster. He's single. He was communicating with this girl in San Diego. They have texts. They have DMs. From what I hear, again, don't quote me. This is what I hear. She approached him, and she likes really, really rough sex. He's like, cool, that's my cup of tea. Why don't you come on down? She comes down. They have the roughest sex. Whatever that means for them, they have the roughest sex. Week goes by. She comes back down. And he has texted her saying, "Oh, that's exactly what I wanted. I want you to choke me unconscious again and do this." He's like, "Damn, all right." So he takes another level, chokes her unconscious, has sex with her, and apparently this is what she asked for in the text. This is what she asked for. She asked to. Maybe she asked to be hit or something. He took it over the top, punched her in the face while she was out. Punched her in the face a few times. So she wakes up. She's like, "Holy fuck!" And in his head, he's like, "Oh, this is what I thought you wanted." They have texted him being like, "Hey, are you okay? How can I help you? I thought this is what we were doing." She's like, "Nah, bitch, I didn't have to get socked in the face twice." So he fractured her like orbital and stuff like that. So she go to the doctor. She files charges. So now he's on paid leave right now, and they're talking about kicking him out of the league, something like that. And he's like, "Whoa,
wait. Again, this is also nuanced. Okay, let's go. I like this discussion. I love this.
I love when you're on the show because I talk about this stuff.
Okay, check this out. One side of it is she's saying, yeah, do this, and this. That is okay. And there still is a too far.
Correct.
You know what I mean? There's such a thing as like, she's like, yeah, choke me, knock me out, fuck me.
Punch me.
You do all these things. But no, but she's like, yeah, but it's like if I say, Paris, punch me. You punch me. That shit ain't the same. But
what happens? Let's say I was bi. Let's say Paris is into it too, and the three of us get together, and you
Okay,
go,
keep going.
and
It starts to get weird. It's like, okay.
then Chin jumps in with a ball.
I know, of course, that Asian guy. Yeah, get it going. What's happening?
Right? Chin wants to eat your ass.
I gotta get my
Chin
parking
was,
ticket.
whoa.
Yeah.
Can someone get Eric's parking
Well,
meter so we don't have to pick this
obviously.
up?
Yeah. Okay, wait. Here, just. I think you have to. They say you have to move the car up.
You guys want to just take a break and everyone just go
Let's
to the
take a
car?
break.
Yeah.
Come on.
And then we'll
Yeah,
finish it after
he had
this.
to look like, fuck on me, I'm not a parking guy. I'm a fucking producer, bro.
You know, I like to get out there on the road bike, but the problem with that is there's a lot of cars. It's pretty dangerous. So sometimes I like to stay home in my garage, get on my Peloton, and do work, son. I love Peloton because what Peloton focuses on, it's different than every other gym and studio workout you do at home because they have great music. They have great instructors. They have instructors that just push it to the limits, help you get to whatever goal you're trying to achieve. All right. We got everything. That curated music. They got playlists, hip hop, country, pop. Peloton Bike has the right music to keep you entertained and motivated all year long. With Peloton Bike, there's nothing like working out from the crib. Learn more at onepeloton.com. All right. New members can try Peloton classes for free for 30 days at onepeloton.com/app. Terms apply. That's onepeloton.com. ONEPELOTON.com. Peloton. This podcast with Griffin is brought to you by the best supplements on planet Earth. I'm talking about On It. You've heard me for years after years. There's only one supplement company that I rock, that I trust to put inside this temple. I'm talking about my thick ass body, and that's On It. Whether it's their protein powder, their creatine, their glutamine, whatever it is, it's On It. Onnit.com/fighter, 10% off the entire dang site. What do you need? You need nutrition? We got you covered. Again, we got whey protein, plant-based protein, protein bars, protein bites. We got protein power puffs, elk bars, warrior bars, whatever you're looking for. On It is the one-stop shop for fitness gear, nutrition, supplements. We got kettlebells. We got streaming fitness, On It 6, barbell weight programs, On It in 30, move and groove, morning mobility. We got it all. We got battle ropes, sandbags, onnit.com/fighter, 10% off. Get in shape right now. It's a thick boy summer, but a good thick. Get with it, onnit.com/fighter.
You want to finish your point, though? Because it was important.
Yeah.
All right.
So again,
he's eating your ass. Go.
It's a gag ball. I just brought a gag ball. That's all.
Welcome back.
And we're back.
so Chin's eating my ass. That was the whole point. I was seeing if Chin was up to it. Christian's in.
Christian's in.
I was just, it gets a little dicey too. So like, let's say again, you, me, and Woodsy over there, we all had an agreement to have rough sex, and the goal is I choke you out. What happens after I choke out? You're like, do the worst thing possible, like get it done. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but
there is a limit.
No,
now,
there
with
is
Trevor
a limit.
Bauer, I don't know enough about. I'm not defending him in any fucking facet. I'll make that very clear. Well, I'm just saying what we're like. To your point, like, yeah, she wants it rough. But I don't think rough included getting socked in the face.
That's what I'm saying.
Conscious,
Yeah. No, but
and being anally raped.
Can I go?
There has to be a little bit of.
No. Can I go back? No, you have to go back. We have to go back. No. Listen, the problem is, again, we are doing things with people that we don't know. All right? You don't have that kind of relationship with this strange woman to trust that you don't have the trust built. And on her side, too. What the fuck are you doing going to some professional athlete who is clearly an athlete and saying, do your worst? You don't know him.
Yeah.
You don't know him like that. So, like, if that's where the real problem started.
But here's part of the problem. Scroll up, Chin.
Up.
Right there. So this guy goes, the minute he put hands on that woman, he was guilty. I hope you never have to go through the same thing. More importantly, if you do, let's pray that someone is looking out for you the way I am for this young lady and all the women who are abused by men. What's tough about that is, remember, in their agreement, she asked to have him put hands on her, but she didn't ask to get punched in the face.
Wait.
Well, look what that person said right there.
I also believe in the justice system. It's a shame that you automatically assume guilt with all the facts being public. That's where I'm at now. I need all the facts.
No, but the thing about this guy right here is, like, who's he saying this for? Like, that kind of bullshit right there gets on my nerves. Because this is way more nuanced than this. And by the way, I would imagine that even sounds a little insulting to women. Like, you can't make your own choice about what kind of things you want to do. It's like, if like this girl, look, that's what I'm saying. It's like, this is a message to all the people out there that are into rough sex, S&M, all that kind of stuff, and you like to push the limits. If you're a woman that likes to push the limits, don't be pushing the limits with someone that you don't know. Yeah. But maybe that's part of the appeal. That's part of the thing.
See, here's where it gets nice. The documents also show how Bauer appears to have texted Hill to ask her how she was in the aftermath of the alleged attack. Screenshot said, sent by Bauer reads, "I feel so bad that this has happened. I agreed to have consensual sex," she says. "However, I did not agree or consent to what he did next. I did not agree to be sexually assaulted."
Yeah, the punch to the face.
Okay, but here's the thing too, though. Like, this is where it becomes like, so you're having you're going over there, they're having sex, and like, would this have happened to just a regular person? Like, what is her intentions at this point? Like, this is all so dicey, man. It's like, if you have all this correspondence where you're like, we're going to do all this, we're going to do all this, we're going to do all this, and then he does it, and then you come back later and you call that sexual assault. I mean, I would prefer her to say, I got assaulted, because like I would prefer her to say, he went too far and now I have structural damage. And I feel like, hey, y'all can deal with that outside the press.
Scroll back, Chin.
Instead of making it seem like the whole interaction was just abuse.
And then, go to Larry Brown Sports. Says Trevor Bauer text message show accuser asked for slaps and all the pain.
That's what I'm saying.
But does all the pain include a fractural orbital?
What I'm saying is,
that's the part that makes it tough.
But no. But what I'm saying is,
scroll down, Jen. Mm-hmm.
Two things can be true at the same time.
Oh, here's the text. So here's
wow.
Here's 100 nose kisses to make you feel better, and just know pink is your color, Poppy. Oh yeah, pink looks good on me, huh? Really compliments your vibe, yes. Oh, it hits like that, huh? The pink socks, all right. This is lame. Butt off when it's time. Butt off when it's time. Choke me out. You're the best. You want to go out, huh? Yes.
See,
that was a game changer. So she likes being choked unconscious. Tell me more. Never been more turned on in my life. Give me all the pain. Really? When you were going out or when you woke up? Going out. She liked going out. Okay, she's a freak.
Yeah, she's a freak.
Yeah, but then keep going, Chin. Now that I know what it feels like to wake up from it, though, it'll probably feel just as good to wake up from that. God just turned me on so much. Mission accomplished. Now I just want my arm around your neck from behind. Do it harder. Yes, ma'am. What else does mommy want? All right. It has to be so embarrassing for him to all these texts get released. Get a couple.
But
slaps.
He has to
get a couple slaps in there, and then another handprint on my ass. Then for Poppy to tell me what else he wants. Slap in the face. Yes. Do you even know what pain is? Scroll down. Picture of his giant cock. Okay, that's it there. Try me. Well, you'd have to be here for me to show you. I'll be in LA Tuesday and Wednesday. I have plans already. No bueno. Would tonight work for you? Unfortunately, unfortunately, have someone in town. Good fucking win. Fucking need that one. So happy for you. Thanks. Do it again tonight. Oh, yeah, my cousins who live in LA don't care. Hey, I'll pitch it Saturday. Come over after that. Keep going, Chin.
See, that's only three, right?
That's the only thing. It's only three of them.
Here's the thing. Okay.
See, he just went too far.
Thank you.
He went too far.
So what I'm saying is, here's the thing.
We can't have you pitching for the Dodgers when you go too far.
No, but the thing is, like, this is about these two people making a judgment call that was wrong. She don't know him.
She don't know his definition of rough.
Right. Yeah. It's like, I get it. This is a sexy and his turn on, and he's famous and rich, and she's beautiful, and they're like, oh, we're going to have to, but you don't know each other like that. Like, this is a safety issue. It's like, it's like, and it hit this idiot. Like, he's like, what in him thought, she was like, slap me, dude. Like the level. Look, I knew a chick that loved to be like paddled, and when she came back from this party, she was a photographer, and I was doing headshots with her, and then she came, she showed me her ass, and it was fucking like purple, and she was like, oh, I love it, so maybe her level is different, but if you don't discuss that,
especially for Trevor,
she never said anything about punching.
I know, that's what I'm,
but he said, you don't know what pain is, and she says, bring it. So to him, he's like,
but even still, that's
the whole thing's fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. So what I don't like about this is how people are discussing it. That's my problem with it. My
Meaning-
problem is people aren't discussing it with the nuance that it deserves. This is a problem where two people did something that they did not discuss fully, and they
don't know each other.
They don't know each other like that.
Yeah.
He went too far, and she led him on. And they have this issue, and now it's in the press about, like, you got these fucking idiots talking about, well, you put your hands on a woman, you're always wrong. No, man.
No.
That comment wasn't even. That comment was about him. That was for him.
You
That was
keep
for
your
him only.
fucking bullshit, because if you're not, because that's how people get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, he's only doing that so the rest of the Twitter goes, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he
Like,
just-
you're not
That's
doing
for these
that to
Twitter
the
trolls,
Yeah.
man. No, but this is more important. This is about this. The lesson here is about how we communicate with people. How far should we go in our intimacy? Stop assuming people understand how far you want them to go, and then stop assuming you understand how far the other person wants to go
But
with
if,
these
if
kinds
Trevor
of things.
Bauer's your boy, I would call him and be like, dog, punch in the face?
I know,
But
but
Trevor Bauer, you're the best pitcher in the one of the best pitchers in the league. What are you thinking, dog?
that's even.
Like, what are you doing?
I think it's
You know
more-
how stupid this is?
But I think it's more even to be like, if it's like, you know, if he punches a chick in the face
You're going to jail tonight.
and you punch a chick in the face. No, I'm saying, like, he could probably be rougher with a chick than you could. So if I'm your friend, I don't care what you do. I'm saying to you, like, the more thing is like, dude, you're 6'4".
Yeah.
Like, why would you punch
he's a
her?
big motherfucker?
That's a big dude, man. He's a big dude.
I mean, he's one of
Yeah.
the best pitchers in the league. How big is he?
yeah. What's his like?
But when I was fighting the
I'm
UFC,
saying that. I'm
but-
not talking
no,
about, like,
I'm
who
with you.
cares what he does. I'm just saying, like,
he's
you
a
know
big
your
dude.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was in the UFC, I would hook up with girls, and they assumed because I fought in the UFC that, choke me, punch me. Like, I ain't into that. That's
Yeah.
not my thing. Also, that goes down a weird road.
You just
man.
trying to
No,
fuck
it's not
regular.
even that.
Flying
It's-
elbows.
Huh?
What?
Giving them fucking elbows.
No, it's not
Can
even
you
that.
do
They,
that Showtime Pettis kick off the
they
fucking wall?
don't know. They don't know how hard.
Naked?
They don't know that
Naked.
it's
No,
really
they don't.
going to hurt.
Yeah.
Dick just flopping.
6'1", 190.
That's a big motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
6'1", 190. How big is she? She's probably 5'2", 111. Like, come on, dude. What are you doing? So, yes, this is about assault, bad judgment. He made an assault, right? Because he went too far. But don't add this. Don't conflate this into all this other stuff that people are
Let
doing,
me ask
man.
you this, Eric. Should he never work again?
No, I think that's.
What are you at on that?
Well, you know what? I mean, I think it's like.
Now they're supposed to have bobblehead night tonight, and that's not happening. That's not even. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like they literally are supposed to have.
Brendan Schaub, everybody.
They're supposed to have Trevor Bauer bobblehead night because he's literally one of their ace pitchers, and
Yeah, because you don't want everybody being like, this is what he does to women. You know, it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, I guess you could argue both sides. It's like, should he lose his livelihood and never work again because he made this mistake?
how old is he?
I mean,
22.
I mean,
I think it's 15.
I just think it's. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, my gut tells me
What
that
was
it's like he should have a
thinking?
punish. He
What
should.
was he
Oh, he's 30.
Okay, too
My
old to be doing
punishment.
that.
I mean, I think he should be punished for again making a. I think he should be punished just for being stupid.
Me too.
I mean, this
all
was
dumb.
this was just stupid.
Yeah.
So I get it. And we
You
do
signed a
dumb
3-year
things.
deal for $110 million, and you're punching girls in the face. Come on, dog. Come on, bro.
Well, I see, and that's not what I'm saying. Come on, bro. To I'm saying my thing is like my come on,
You don't
bro
know
is
this
not
girl.
even about my.
You're saying
Yes,
you don't know this girl.
My come
That's
on,
what
bro
you're
is
talking
like you don't really know her. Like you don't know. Like have you ever even done this before? Like it's like when you
I
go
would
to
assume, yeah.
when you go to a
Big guy.
professional now, man. I think
you
when
don't
you go
think
to
so?
a professional S&M person or whatever, that's why you have safe words. That's why you have boundaries. You have like it's not.
But at least they're conscious to say the safe words. Her thing and his thing were
No,
choking
but
on
that's why-
conscious, so
but
there's no
that's-
safe word.
I know, but that's why you have to make sure you're with someone that you completely trust. That's the
That
whole
you
point.
know. Yeah, you're
she
right.
said, "I want to be unconscious.
Yep.
I want to be out cold." So then to be out cold, you got to be out cold with someone that you completely trust.
Yeah, not a grizzly bear.
Not a first motherfucker. You don't
they
know who
hooked
he
up
is.
Before. This
Oh, they
is their
hooked up before?
second. This is the second time they've hooked up. That's why she said, "I want it harder."
Yeah, because
So he was like, "Oh, say
But
less."
I'm saying it's still early in the game.
yeah, but
yeah, the whole thing's stupid.
all right, whose responsibility is it at that point?
I would say it's his.
And I agree with you because
Being the older
because
guy.
it's not even that too. It's like this little woman is saying something that, and you're like, I don't know if you really want me to go
Yeah.
harder. I think I'm going pretty hard for this. If I go harder, look what happened.
That's what I'm saying.
I
He
would
knows, he
say-
knows his strength.
I would say it's more on him because she's the unconscious one. You're the one of right mind while she's unconscious, so it's on you, dog.
Yeah, I know,
I'm
but
sure
see,
that's what her lawyers
I'm not
are doing.
harping on the unconscious part about this. This is
But
about.
that's when all the assault happens. Though.
I know,
She
but what
wasn't
I'm saying
You're
is,
just talking about the whole thing in general.
no, I'm saying if he would have just slapped her a few times and she woke up and her face was red and she was like, "Oh my God, I love it," fine. The motherfucker punched her and she cracked her.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, he was like, "Okay, she wanted it harder." It's like that was the stupid.
And she woke up like, God damn, what the fuck?
Even
did
her
I
was like,
do?
"Bitch, I said hard, but damn, I can't
Damn.
see out of my
Who's
left
into
eye."
this?
Yeah, right.
Now I gotta go to the fucking
Yeah.
doctor and shit.
No, my point is this though. At that point right now, all of a sudden now they don't know each other.
Yeah.
See, all of a sudden now they not friendly.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden she's like, why would you do this to me? If they were closer, you would think it would be like she would be like,
Conversation.
"Damn, what the fuck?" And he's like, "I'm sorry. I thought
out
you
of
know what I
hand.
mean."
The conversation would be between them.
It would be between them.
But because they
he
don't
got
know
$110 million.
Yeah.
She going to the best doctors. He could be like, "I'm so sorry about they could have worked that out." But now it's turned into like this thing. It's like my point is like, what are the intentions of making it public like this? What's the intention there? Why? When you obviously had this thing, it's because they don't know each other. They thought they wanted something that they didn't really
He's
want.
someone in the space.
They thought they understood and they really didn't. And it's like, so again, all I'm saying to y'all motherfuckers out there is this is more nuanced than just the black and white thing that the Twitter fucks always put out.
Yeah, he hit her.
You know what I mean? It's more than that. And that's the discussion we need to have so we can really learn to change
that's
our
how you- that's
behavior.
how you learn,
That's
yeah.
how you learn. We could change our behavior about being like, don't just trust people that you don't know. We all have made that mistake.
Yep.
We all have been like, but not like punching. I'm saying like we've made a mistake of thinking that.
He said, "I'm not saying punch."
I'm saying like you thinking that like, oh, this is
another level.
going someplace, and then like it's like, no, it's not, because that happens. Even look, what made us talk about this in the first place? Even in the Aziz situation, it becomes you're texting and you're saying things that you want to do, and then when you get there, you have an expectation now, but the other person maybe has a different expectation.
Correct.
And maybe
He
the other,
took it as
that could-
literal.
that could all
In the
change
text, it was literal.
when the opportunity
But again,
arises.
to your point, why did that with Aziz? Well, because they don't know each other.
they don't exactly.
Aziz expected this, she expected this, it went down like this.
So
and
it comes down to like, what sort of behavior should we have? And what I'm saying is, to all of us, what we've learned, what we should have learned from the Me Too, and I know it's hard, right? It shouldn't be hard, but it is. Let's just be honest about it. Is we need to be gentlemen. Okay, we need to treat women with respect. And I'm not just saying that like the Twitter type of treat people with respect. It's like it's about like
the action.
the action of it. It's like okay, court people. Let's get back to the days. That's why get off your fucking phones and talk. FaceTime if you have to, if you're going to keep the phone, but actually try to connect and communicate so you can really get on the same page, get on a level, because what we're
Text isn't gonna do it.
finding
That's
out
the only
is
way you're
you're
gonna do
not
it, yeah.
on the same level. That's what you're finding out. Like that chick with Aziz was like, she wanted more. It seems to me like she was looking for a husband and he was looking for a booty call.
Yep.
And then that turned into like,
Trouble.
And it's trouble. And so it's like, and he's like so famous, it's like, don't do that. You're too famous to be like, and we've all done that. I've done that. We've all think like, we're saying whatever, and then the other person is looking at you in a way of like, well, you're this, and then
Yeah.
it turns into like, so it's like we all have to like just back away, and that's the lesson that should be learned from this, not this like silly idea that
You
this.
see what James Harden does to avoid all this? He just works with professionals. He pays this girl, she's like a stripper or whatever, I forget her name, Jenna Shea or something. He pays her, she pays her a salary. He does whatever he wants with her, and then she signs an NDA, signs a contract. There's no other funny business.
Well, obviously it's all out in public, so he just doesn't care, and that's why.
That's what he said. He's like, I do this so I don't run into issues, man.
And I totally get it. I mean, it's like now
You
it
got a
becomes
budget
like,
for it.
where's the? But again, it's like with these kind of things,
$100
like where's the romance now? Like where's the where's the courting
Real
process
connection?
and the flirting and all that stuff has been taken away
That's
because
still-
now you can't flirt.
I think that's still there. We're just dealing with these high level cases.
Yeah.
Like these are the extremes. Like
Yeah,
Trevor Bauer, James Harden, those are extreme examples.
I'm just saying,
In
look
the real
at,
world, people are meeting at, well, not now, but maybe now that COVID's over, like they're meeting, at work or at bars, and you can't just fucking text.
I don't know, man.
You would think.
I just think that the lesson to be learned from all these things is like
You don't know each other.
really delve deep into this. You know, I remember there was a documentary on Netflix about these 4 teenage girls from these different towns who were victims of date rape and how they weren't believed and they had to like move out of their, they had to move out of their town. It was heart-wrenching to see like what happened to these girls, But in every single case, 2 things, and they never talk about it. They were all drinking, okay? Underage drinking, all right? And the second part of it is they were drinking with people that they don't know. Now, I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm saying when I have kids, the thing is to like, teenagers are going to try things. They're going to do stuff. I think instead of just going, don't drink, don't do drugs. Don't drink, don't do drugs.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. We got to start talking to them about if you're going to drink, don't drink with motherfuckers you don't know. Don't go to somebody's house you don't know. Make sure the person you're with, that you guys are buddy system, you're looking out for each other. It's like, I know you're going to try stuff.
Yep.
But don't go to some strange person's house, you don't know who they are, and put yourself in a compromising situation. Now,
but to that point,
it's not their fault.
Not their fault. But like if I have a daughter and she calls me, she's 21. She calls me, she goes, Dad, this NBA player invited me over his house at 2 a.m. I'm going to go over there, smoke and drink. I'm like, you can do that.
Okay, first of all, no daughter is going to call their dad. Dad, guess what? I'm about to go drink and get fucked. Wow, Kuzma coming forward, Dad. What should I do? What kind of relationship?
We have an open relationship. We're very open with each other. But I'm just saying,
each other everything.
It's like a bad sitcom. Dad, guess what I'm doing?
What? LeBron James.
Yeah, you get that dick, girl.
What I would tell her, like, hey, if you're going to party with these professional athletes at 2 a.m, realize they're not inviting you because you're the smartest kid at the party. Like there's going to be expectations when you get there.
Yeah, you're going to be I've invited chicks over too when I was. No, but
you know what I'm saying?
It's not going to go down like that.
No.
But I would hope the conversation you have is like, you could have an honest conversation about like, hey, like this is, because again,
things to look out
it's
for.
more, but it goes into like a psychological thing about how do you help your daughter not feel insecure or whatever, or like, but then there's this idea of like, hey, I work on my body. Like I totally get 18 to 24, you bust your ass to look good. So you want to be on Instagram, like, look at me, shit. Look at my physique. I'm flexing right now. It's like, so
yeah, I work for
do we want to be like, hey, there's guys out there they're looking at you. It's like, the empowerment of like, so it really comes to like, we got to talk to people about like, just watch your surroundings, be aware of what people are trying to get from you. And, it's like, make sure you're in charge, make sure you do things that you want to do. We got to stop. We have to empower people to do what they want to do.
Have some boundaries.
It's like if you're a chick, it's like, and you're like, well, I'm going to go over to this guy's house and I'm going to get double teamed by him and his friend, because that's what I'm into. I like that. We have to stop being like, oh, God, why would you do that? Don't be a whore, with all that kind of shit. It's got to be like, well, do you trust them? Is it a safe situation?
Yep.
Do you know it? It's like, yeah, then cool, go do your thing. Just like, I'm just saying it has to be about like you're in charge of yourself.
Yeah, hopefully my daughter's like, damn, I'm about to go get a double team.
But
like Larry and Greg,
you know what? If she is, so what?
Yeah.
So what? That's my whole point. So
I know
what?
as a dad though, like damn.
Yeah, I know, but that's why you don't. That's why you're not. Here's my point though. You're not going to have those conversations with her, but you want to instill the idea
that she can't.
That she's in charge of. That she makes sure that she understands safety.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's
it's not like
interesting. Yeah.
That's what. That's what it's more. What am my favorite word? Nuance.
Yep.
That's what this has to be about. And I think that people should be in charge of their sexuality. They should be in charge of like the thing. And it's like, because we're all different from different age ranges too. That's why I think women who are like, women that are 18 to 25 and they're at their prime, their bodies look banging and they're like, look, I want to do this. And then the older chicks who are like, why do you have your thing? It's like, because we're done with you. You know what I mean? Like you're on a whole different, you're on a different track.
Yeah, different path.
Don't think just because you're women, you feel the same about the same thing.
Yep.
You're not in the same place. It's like, the actress who like her nudes leaked, and then like the women on The View The women on The View are like, well, this is why you shouldn't put nudes. It's like, no, that's why you shouldn't put nudes.
Yeah, we're not trying to see you.
Nobody's trying to see you naked. Yeah, we're not trying to see you. But don't forget that age when you were like, this it's currency.
Yep.
That's their currency. It's like, I got here's some titties.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the guy's like, oh wow, this is great. But it's like, as long as you're in charge of it, but don't feel like, it's all about building up self-esteem and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's the real important thing. Yeah. But we always get lost in the result later, and then we start talking about like these things that happen, but talk about all the things. So again, when I talk about that documentary I'm talking about, it's like underage drinking. Drinking is bad no matter what. I'm talking about even a little bit of alcohol. It's proven, the science of it is bad for you. Okay.
Your decision making.
Just any sort of alcohol is bad for you. Okay. So if you're going to add that, and you're going to add the also when you're young, your mind isn't developing. It affects you differently. And then you also, at some strange boy's house who's also your age, whose hormones are going, and then things get too far, and it's like it's not your fault. But in the same way, we have to tell young black men how to be around the police. Then we have to also tell our young women, make sure you're safe in these environments around men.
These hostile environments.
And I think that that's a fair thing. And it's not, it's not their fault.
So Paris goes to the University of Syracuse.
Yeah.
Did your dad give you any heads up before you left as a freshman?
My dad is like on edge all the time. Like he's very aware. Like always, everybody's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Basically,
I'm like your dad.
everybody's a bad guy.
But you're like, but check this out. You're 22. You just went to a wedding. You like to party. You drink. You have fun. I'm sure your dad is like, he doesn't want none of that for you. But like, how do you manage that? Like when you go to parties, like what are your safety precautions? Are you looking out for these things? 'Cause I'm sure you get guys are hitting on you all the time. You're always hearing about, campus rapes and all this kind of stuff. It's like, so are you taking precautions for yourself to make sure that you're in a safe, comfortable environment at all times?
Oh yeah, I carry a taser on me, and I make sure like I check my surroundings. My dad and my parents have really taught me how to drink since I was younger. Like when I was 17, I was having drinks with them.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
See?
Just like slowly introduced it to me basically. So they were like, so you're not that person who's fucked up, like puking on the side of the
You
road.
get to college, you're like, yeah, give me 7 shots. I'm like, I feel like it's a bad idea.
See,
my friends the ones that get sick are the ones who had strict parents
Yes.
who said, don't drink.
Because they let loose and they have no idea.
And they're like, all right, fuck you, mom and dad. I'm going to college now. I'm going to do what I want. And then they get drunk.
She's exactly right.
Super
I started
smashed.
drinking at 14.
Yeah.
But there's always a rebellious stage no matter what. We always live through that. You're probably at the tail end of that, but there's still a rebellious stage that we all live through. Like, your dad says something, you're like, I got it, Dad. Okay. You know what I mean? I got it. You're still going to do you, And so it's like all we could possibly do as parents or our guardians or
set them up for success.
Just make sure. And I think that that's what your parents did with you. They was like, let's try this.
What about you, Kat? Your parents give you the talk before you went to SC?
No, but my family's
You're a
really
tough cookie.
my family's really big on partying. My parents were strict, but everyone else in my family were degenerate, so I was kind of surrounded by that. That never fazed me. And so like
You already
partying,
knew the environment.
yeah, I'm not attracted to drinking or partying or doing drugs or any of that.
But when you go out with your friends, like both
Yeah.
of you, like when haven't you like? It must suck because this must be something you always have to think about. Is like, are you always worried about like any guy, their intention? Do you always think, well, this guy's got bad intention? It's like, is it always like that? Or what level are you at? I mean, are you good now at assessing a person where you're like, okay, this guy might be okay? Or do you trust your gut? Like, or have you trusted your gut in the past and you've been wrong? It's like, how do you manage those kinds of feelings?
For me, I feel like I generally just have a vibe about people. Like, oh, this guy's kind of weird. I don't know what it is exactly, but something's off.
And you just trust that instantly.
Yeah, and I trust that instinct. I don't like hanging around people that I don't know either. So if it's a random person who doesn't know me or anyone else in my circle, I'm automatically like, oh, okay.
And they could prove to be a good person.
And
but there's
could,
a healthy level of
it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't.
And by the way, trust is earned. It's not given.
You can't trust them off the bat.
Yeah, it's earned. And I think that, again, that's what all this shit is about, what we're talking about.
The nuance.
It's the nuance of it. Trust. Earn the trust. Let somebody earn that trust. I don't care how nice they are. I don't care what. You don't know them, man. I don't care. And it's like, don't let your ego get fed. And that's the thing, too, is like also about like, it's like, those stupid books about like, how to get women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She used to read them all the time.
All the time. I read a book, the book, The Game.
Okay,
Listen.
It ain't like the shit don't work. Okay,
does, yeah.
No, but here's the thing: if you took that shit off that book, if you took the intention of the book off, and you just put on there how to communicate properly
With women.
I'm just telling you, if you read any good communication book, all about how your intention is, it can be used for manipulation.
For sure.
All right, because that's what. So it's like. I was reading this.
Well, there's communication to sealing a deal with business engagements. It's all.
It's like it's so much psychology involved in
all
communication. So some asshole
There's
was
an
like,
end game.
he took the communication and was like, oh shit, you know what? I can get pussy like this.
Yep.
You know, and he was like, let me show you this shit works. So it's like, I mean, I don't know. You just again, don't assume so much about a person that you don't really know just because you have a feeling, just because you like have like an attraction, just because you have like. And that's the thing. It's like, I talk about this on stage right now. Pretty privilege is like the real privilege in our country that is detrimental. It's not white privilege. It's not male privilege.
Talking about hot privilege?
I'm talking about hot
Attractive
privilege.
yeah.
Okay, that's the shit. That's the real privilege, man. That's the real thing because we
In all races.
we let our exactly
Yeah, it don't
because
matter.
we let ourselves
They're
do
hot,
things.
You'll
Yeah.
Look, I say this on stage, man. You think it's ugly people spreading STDs? I mean, straight up. You think it's ugly? You think it's ugly people with multiple partners not using a condom?
You say this on stage?
Yeah. No, dude. All right, okay, you hear what I'm saying? It's not Tina from accounting that's like,
Tina ain't got herpes.
Yeah. I always say this.
They did Greg
It's
and
if one out of 4 people have herpes, you know how you count? You go ugly, 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 hot chick. Ugly, 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 handsome dude. That's the dude that got herpes. That's the dude with the itchy dick.
Yeah, let's do fucking everybody.
Because how many times have you seen a hot person and you've been like, every dude is like this? Oh, you don't want to wear a condom with a hot chick?
Yeah.
No dude wants to wear a condom anyway. But when she's hot, you're like, well, that pussy's good.
Yeah.
I mean, why would God make this so? Why would God put gonorrhea in this hot ass pussy? You know what I mean? So it's just, I'm just saying that's the privilege that, and
The hot privilege.
and the privilege. What's wrong with that privilege is not for what, because we blame white people for being white.
Yeah.
When you say, "Oh, you white," that white privilege, we blame them.
You can't blame a hot person.
We don't.
Hot.
How come the hot? We don't say that out. Well, you hot ass. You hot.
Your jawline pissed me off.
Yeah. We don't do that for them. We excuse. We let
That's not
them.
their
We let
fault.
them act like monsters.
Same as white people.
We
It's
give
not
them
their
like
fault.
that. It's like how many times and then we don't even realize how they're exercising that pretty privilege, that hot privilege. It's like, look, man. Hotness is like truffle oil.
Explain.
It dominates the taste.
Yeah. Overpowered.
It overpowers. When you have a truffle oil steak, you're like, ooh, that
They take
truffle.
everything.
All you hear is truffle oil.
Yeah.
Take that truffle oil
Black
off. That
truffle.
steak might be like, ooh, this is undercooked. This not. There's not enough salt on it. Whatever it is, that's what hotness is. Because it just overpowers it, man. Like there's
Trumps
people
all.
like, look, man, Paul Walker, God rest his soul, R.I.P. Terrible actor. Guys, I'm just. What?
You're going to hell.
I'm just being 100, okay? Listen, he wasn't.
Bro, you didn't like takers?
He wasn't Al Pacino, bro. You know what I mean?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
He wasn't Daniel Day-Lewis.
All right, so we put up with it.
Okay, yes. Come on, dude. If I was driving the cars and that shit, it'd be like, that ugly dude can't drive like that. It wouldn't be me next to fucking Vin Diesel. You know what I mean? I would be the mechanic.
I didn't think that was
I'd
going
be,
to go.
I can't. Dom, I can't. It's not getting in gear. I'm just saying, there's just plenty of examples of like when he first started. I mean, come on, man. He wasn't the best actor. You know what I mean?
They put up with it. 'Cause
And
it's
no
hot.
shade, but it was like he made up for that, and it was part of the package.
Yeah.
It's an image business. Image is a part of the package, man.
Yes, yeah.
It's a part of the package. That's all I'm saying. I'm just using him as an example of saying like that was part of the package. He became a mega star because of it,
Yep.
right? And that's just part of what that is. And we excuse that for so many people.
Ooh, you got me sweating on that one.
I didn't think you were going to go there. I'm
sorry.
give some current events, Joe.
Oh,
Like if Paris was a fat chick, she wouldn't be sitting in here. Let's be 100.
Neither would Cat.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hello.
Oh, God.
Although it would be fun.
Would it?
First 2 weeks.
Like, I gotta be funny. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This has to be funny.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go.
It
Like,
can't just be all right
yeah,
material.
like, if I was as funny as some of the handsome comics, I would be working at UPS. Okay? Just throwing that out.
You would have a
Throw
career.
that out there.
I'm just throwing it out, man. There's a lot of handsome
Material has to
comics.
be fire.
Yeah, I gotta be, because, like, you know what? Like, I've seen this. I've seen, like, certain comics get off stage. I'm in the hallway at the Comedy Store Laugh Factory, and I see the chicks, and I hear them talking about them. You know what the first thing they say?
He's hot. Not, oh, he was so funny. He's hot.
They don't remember the set.
I never get that.
Damn, he's so
my shit is always, oh, that dude was funny.
He killing
You gotta
it.
come with funny first.
Yeah, you gotta be funny first. So I get that. So that's my thing.
There's not that many handsome comics, though. There's not like a bunch of dime pieces up there on stage.
I mean, for comics.
Yeah, yeah.
I always
There's
say like, you know, comics are like, the handsome comics are like pretty women in the WNBA, you know? Like, they fine in the WNBA, but I'm just saying, like, they ain't gonna be Instagram models.
For WNBA.
All right, I got canceled twice. So I got all the Paul Walker people are gonna be on me, and now
WNBA.
all the WNBA hot chicks gonna be like, yeah.
Fuck you, man.
You know what I mean? Eric, there's nuance to what I said. Fuck all y'all.
Nuance.
okay?
Nuance. That's our word. Nuance.
Oh man.
Oh,
What are we
God.
talking about now? Doing
Okay,
this?
so over in Europe, a lot of different countries are making it a law where if somebody modifies their image on Instagram, you have to say it. So even if you put a filter on, you have to say that this photo has been edited or altered. And it's starting to
Why?
You ain't gonna see the
they're trying
Kardashians
to
in
work.
Norway.
They're trying to work on turning around the body image issue over in Europe, especially within the younger generation.
Those expectations aren't real. Like, you see a lot of those girls online, you're
Can
like,
I-
dog, that is a filter.
I have something to say
All
about
right, here it goes. They're
off.
about to light it up.
Can I
Of course.
when I was a kid, they used to blame Hollywood. They used to blame magazines. They used to be like, you know, oh, Hollywood is making young girls have body image issues. You know who's doing it now? Them.
Yeah.
You're doing it to yourselves. Because when you go on Instagram, it's just bad bitch after bad bitch with bikinis, and it's just 100,000 of them being like, boom. So if you're a young girl and you're like, oh my God, I want to look like my neighbor, it ain't about looking like Julia Roberts anymore. It's about looking like fucking Diane down the street
Yep.
who got 100,000 followers and nobody knows who she is or what she does. So I get this. This is actually a good idea. I'm not mad at it.
I'm with it. Yeah.
But yeah, I believe
a lot,
over.
a lot less. I bet you a lot more people would stop filtering and
Oh, yeah.
touching up their images and stuff like
There's
that.
no filter on the picture I sent of you and me to you of me on the mountain.
I knew that.
Oh.
I knew that.
Okay. Well, there's an argument saying that it then pressures influencers to always look the way they would in a photoshopped photo, and so it's promoting plastic surgery. So either way, you can't
You
really.
can't win, but all
Yeah.
right.
Well, so what? It's not their again.
But
Pretty privilege. See, like we have to make them be like they have to look like that all the time. Well, yeah, if you're making money off your image, then your image needs to be on point. You know, that'd be like
That's your thing.
That's your thing.
That's like you not being funny.
Exactly.
That's your thing.
That's your thing. You have to work on your thing. So you've made a business of being like, you know,
Being a bad bitch.
or those like fucking hot dudes with the swoop and, you know, always got to have pouty lips all the time. Hi, hey guys.
Talking about
Like,
them gay dudes.
yeah, you're like, hey guys, and they're doing their TikTok dances.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's like, yeah, you have to do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
but
But
they
that's-
do.
Yeah, they
That's
do.
what they do.
You see them bitches
That's
on the
their
street.
job.
They're just
Yeah.
the same.
That's their job, man.
Yeah. What else you got, Jen?
Okay, Brendan, have you heard about the father-son duo over in the UK who opened up fake Supreme stores?
No, hilarious.
So, a father-son duo over in the UK got caught a few years ago, and they're currently getting sentenced, where they pretended to be the founder of the brand Supreme, and they would open up fake shops
easy to
all around the world selling legal fake Supreme items. So I guess they're going to countries where the trademark laws are a little lenient, so they would sell fakes under the guise that they're real.
Supreme.
But you said it was a skate brand.
Supreme's interesting because Supreme for the longest was a kind of a niche market in New York, and it was a skate shop in New York. And then the skaters would get their shoes there. They'd get like the exclusive dunks and skateboards and all that stuff. And then they kind of went mainstream. So now Supreme's kind of like this. If you're like a diehard skater, it's like they sold out. I think Louis Vuitton bought them, but they made it. They made it. So now if you rock Supreme, which I do, I'm a huge fan of them. But now if you rock Supreme, you're kind of it's
more like a hype beast culture
now a little bit. Yeah, they've kind of transitioned.
Well, but isn't there
it's the
like-
same thing? Like we have it here in LA. It's called Union. Like Union did the collab with Jordan, but what people don't realize, like those Unions I rock all the time. That's a skateboard brand. Like they're a skate shop. They've been around for fucking 40 years.
Okay.
They just have these niche markets.
You're getting to
Sorry, Doug.
past skate shop age.
You ever seen the Union Force?
Are you telling him to get out of the club?
Brendan. Hey, Dad. Get your punk ass out that skate shop. Take your ass over to Brooks Brothers and somebody send him ass some New Balance, some comfortable walking shoes.
No, I think with like sneakerheads, especially my age, like I'm a huge sneakerhead, right? When you're a kid and you want those sneakers, you want those Jordans 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, the 11s. You're a kid, you can afford them. My parents can afford them. Now I'm at the age where they're re-releasing them and they're doing these collabs with companies I like Union, and now I can afford them. So now I stick with it.
This is your people's fault.
I apologize.
You fans, you supporting his habit. That's why.
Damn, those shoes are tight.
Yeah.
I get it. It's addicting.
What else you got, Jen?
Here we go.
Okay, so there's apparently this terrible problem over in Australia where they have a bunch of rats and mouses just infesting the entire country. And one woman woke up in the middle of the night because a mouse got onto her face and started eating at her eyeball.
Oh my God.
Hold up. How deep of a sleep are you in that this mouse was able to crawl on your fucking face,
Open that
Some
eye.
people are deep
one eye, start gnawing, like, oh, damn, man. Like, come on.
Talk about
I
rough.
guess I
Talk about rough sex when you're sleeping.
But yeah, there's a rodent plague right now over in Australia, and it's been happening for the last 6 months.
Jesus.
Australia's got all kinds of problems.
There's some wild ass animals out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in Australia with a buddy of mine, and we like walked out of like a fast food place. So we're just walking and eating, and a fucking bird.
Like a pterodactyl.
Like a bird, like my friend's eating that, like a flock of birds attacked him for the food.
Goddamn.
It was crazy.
What?
Like these pigeons here, they home trained. You know what I mean? A pigeon ain't gonna fucking fly. These
pigeons here
motherfuckers
wanna
didn't
live.
care. They were like, ah! You know, they fucking came down and tried to get the food, and we were just like,
Fight them off.
it was like, oh man, traumatizing.
That happened to me in Florida, actually.
With what? Like a seagull?
Yeah, I was walking down the beach and I had Chick-fil-A and I was starving and I was so excited to eat my friggin' Chick-fil-A sandwich. And the seagull comes right as I'm about to take a bite and just takes it out of my hand.
I would have
and flew away with it and then all like swarmed and ate my sandwich and I was pretty upset.
What? No, there's those.
Those seagulls are
You ever
gangsters,
see like
though.
those big
If that
geese,
happened,
like
yeah.
at Lake Balboa? I'll take my kids down. We'll walk around Lake Balboa. There's geese there that are fucking feet size 14s.
Yeah.
Like they can fit my shoes. Big ass feet.
Florida got a lot of
fucking
animals.
Jack geeses.
Yeah.
And tiger, there's one big black one. Tiger go near. I'm like, man, you keep fucking with that thing. You mean a fight. Like
Yeah.
you're the same size 14 shoe.
Those motherfuckers
I'm
run
gonna
at
film
you.
it. Yell world star. Like,
I'm not outdoorsy like that.
I mean, we just
hanging out
walk
with
around the
geese.
park, dog. You know.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bird take my Chick-fil-A. I'm killing that fucking thing.
Here's an update to your favorite story
Ooh,
of the
yes.
week. This woman has pled guilty, and she is currently being sentenced to 210 days in jail, and then she has 2 years of probation.
Have you seen this case, Eric?
Okay, first of all,
Yes.
I mean, what am I gonna say? Pretty privileged. She dope. that ain't
Yeah, it all
that's
comes
what I'm saying. That ain't a fat guard doing that.
That's why everyone's-
Fat guard not making the article.
But also the fat guard, we're not gonna be up in arms about it. Like with this one, we're like, all right, you know.
Wait, but she.
But also the head guy who hired her, you know what you're doing, Doug. Bring this fine ass girl around all these inmates locked up for life and shit.
But that could be her thing too. Like she's like, look at all the attention she's getting from the. That's she probably got off on that. Like you know what I mean?
she let the homeboy bang her out in front of 11 other inmates.
Well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is she's like that. Like that could be just she's like into voyeurism. She's into like bad boys. You know where the bad boys are? They in prison.
The baddest boy, but it's the baddest.
The
boy.
baddest motherfuckers are in prison.
Motherfuckers on prison. But what I still want to know what the dude looks
Yeah.
like who
They still
banged
haven't
out in front of
released
his
his
11
photo.
friends.
Well, they released her photo.
Yeah, they released her photos.
If I was in prison and this was walking around,
Bro, I'm doing 20 to life. I'm like, what?
you know,
I'm running game on
You
her.
know what I mean? I'm making
And
prison
also-
wine. I'm making prison wine.
I'm making hooch and shit. Like, girl, it's that special hooch.
I'm in the.
Age 7 days.
I'm down in arts and crafts making her.
Making a
Arts
wood
and
sign and
crafts.
shit. Make this for the
They
girl.
got arts and crafts in there, right? They got. He down at the wood. He down at the woodwork.
Those little Debbie Stacks.
He making her some shit like, yo, girl, what's up? And she probably loved it every second of it, just walking around being hot
she
shit.
loved it. She loved
What
it.
race you think he was?
I'm dying to see the guy because
Well, it could have been anything, 'cause she looks like she could be like
his
Latina,
11 boys
or I'm
that
not sure.
watch.
Yeah, Latina.
Yeah, she looks like she's Latina, so he probably was like,
Dude, his 11
he had a
boys that
tattoo
watch,
right here for sure.
Fucking
Yeah.
smile not
Couple
cry
tear
later.
tattoos down the face.
Yeah.
And I bet his boys like, tell us what it's like. Like, you saw it, bitch. You know what's happening. You saw it. You saw it.
Well, that's what
He
I'm
had stories for days. Tell us again.
So there's no single man out of prison.
No, she was actually married when this happened.
They were going through a rough patch.
Yeah, she says that they were going through a rough,
But dude,
rough
she
patch,
said
and that's
she
how
cut
she
a hole in
coped.
her pants so he could fuck her through the pants so she wouldn't get caught. Mm-hmm. Something hot about it.
I guess.
Pretty privileged though.
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty privileged.
I'd be upset.
I mean, that warden knew it though. He was like, "Damn, you got some big ass titties. Yeah, we'll hire you." Like, all right, putting you on the death row block now.
I know, but see, there's something unfair about that too. It's like, so if you look like that, you can't have a real job.
Correct. Now we can't be around the inmates.
Like a monster.
We can't be around the inmates with blue balls. You got this blowout ass, these giant ass titties. Like, Doc, come on.
But that's part of
You're,
it.
you're literally,
day,
but
yeah.
you're torturing these
That's
guys.
well, they then don't fucking rob a liquor store.
Yeah, you're right.
You know what I mean?
Fair enough.
So we're gonna hire Hooter waitresses around prisons now
Yeah.
just to torture them?
Yeah, that's perfect. This is what you're not getting because you in jail.
I feel like crime's
Just shaking the titties in front of them.
Okay, so over in Alabama, somebody recorded a gas station covered by what's it called? Mayflies. I've never heard of mayflies before, but apparently they're aquatic bugs that only live for a day, so they could mate and then they die after.
Jeez.
They just hang outside the fucking supermarket?
Well, they're inside the
Inside,
gas
too.
station too.
Oh, damn.
Just flying around.
Of course they are.
Or the Missouri or some shit?
Alabama.
Georgia. Or
Look at that.
Alabama.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ.
Kids playing with it.
Well, this is the fun stuff you do in Alabama.
God.
While
Dog,
fireworks are
there's
going
a
Yeah, you
on.
hear that too.
I'm just walking around with Raid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know what that story was about.
Someone sent this in, and I didn't know you could actually post this on Instagram, but this is Halsey.
Oh.
Oh.
So I have to blur this out for sure, but
You can't. She's gonna get removed.
Is that a Game of Thrones?
It looks similar to it.
And then what she said she wants to do is make it normalized that for moms to have their titties out like this.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
I don't care.
There's good, it's good and bad.
Halsey's
There's
so
good. There's
bad.
good for it. There's bad for it. But it doesn't
I
matter.
did something like this on my TikTok, and my TikTok gets banned.
You're not Halsey.
TikTok is for
Your
13-year-olds, sir.
Well, first of all, here's the thing, though.
Same thing.
I mean, it's like, they're practically. I see nipples all the time on through the shirts anyway. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
what are they hiding at this point anyway.
But this is her. This also obviously she knows she can get traction. Also, but my fourth album comes out August 27th.
Yeah.
This is to Eric's point. This is pretty privileged.
Yeah.
Now, if Lizzo did this, we're all
Yeah.
gonna pretend it's all good. But is it all good? You know what I'm saying?
God.
If Lizzo was like, album comes out next week, we're all, God
Yeah.
damn, girl. Because Halsey's fine ass did it. We're like, oh, she's right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that's your point.
Like this isn't.
Hope this can be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
There's a stigma around bodies and breastfeeding. No, there's not.
Well,
Cool.
it's when the other ones do it.
Yes.
That's
what
this isn't brave.
No. When the other
She
ones
looks.
go,
She looks
I want it
fantastic.
too. Yeah.
is great.
There's nothing brave about this.
No.
Okay, this ain't courageous or brave.
Your perfect titty on my Instagram isn't going to cause
Actually,
me to.
Lizzo is the one that needs to be doing this.
Yes.
Because that's brave.
Yeah.
Okay. And horrifying.
I was just gonna leave it at the brain.
I mean, damn, that's like a big meal too. Like that nipple is bigger than the baby's mouth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Baby's
that's
all-
that's a fat Zipple, dude.
Flexing hard.
I
Being
mean,
fed around here, son.
damn, that's a
She's such a baddie.
that's that Vente.
Areolas get
That's
bigger
that
when you're
Trenta
pregnant, so
titty,
the babies
dog.
can see
I
better.
know they're
Oh, they
bigger,
get,
but
they get
this
bigger
is
when
like
you're pregnant.
Yeah,
they
because
fill with milk.
the babies can't see very well, and so the bigger the areola is, the bigger the target is for them to latch on.
okay.
There you go.
Also,
There we go.
The breast gets filled with milk. So
That's why that picture of
hungry.
Cardi B that went viral. Remember when her tit was out and everyone said her areolas were huge?
yeah, 'cause
That's
she had
a-
a kid.
Who?
Yeah. She's pregnant
Cardi B.
again.
Yeah, she's pregnant right now.
Oh, Cardi B.
Yeah.
All right, someone else sent in this. I don't know who it is though, but it's just this pig
Ooh,
with
what?
giant
God,
balls.
dog. Look
What
at
is
Brian
that?
Callen of sheep.
It's a pig.
That's
Is
a
that
pig.
big? That's Brian Callen as a pig. Brian has some balls on him, y'all. Why they all warded up? Though?
Yeah.
I don't
That poor
know.
Pig.
Is it elephantitis, do you think?
Maybe did no nut November or something.
But then there's this thing. There's the thing that he's climbing. So I think he's trying to get. They're trying to get semen out of it. Maybe. See it?
No, it's a deformity, man. Yeah. Ain't no way you got big ass balls like that.
I don't know
Those
what's
things
going
ain't
on.
full of semen.
Oof, that's oh my god.
Hashtag chug. Come on, man. Who put that?
I don't know. Do you guys want to get into the Rachel Nichols thing at all?
Sure.
Okay. So
You know about this, Eric?
Yeah, I do. I'd love to talk about it. I just need a Kleenex real quick.
Kleenex.
You got allergies?
Napkin.
Allergies
Yeah,
are
something.
popping,
Yeah,
man.
something going on in here. You guys need to get a. You guys need to get a humidifier.
No, we need to leave and go to Calabasas.
You need,
Thank you for pointing that out. Knuckles.
you need like a air purifier.
She's gonna give you some napkins or Kleenex right now.
Break down the Rachel Nichols thing, because I definitely have some opinions on this.
So about a year ago, she was recorded on her own camera. I think it was just recording, and somehow someone got the footage or the actual audio of it, and she's talking about one of her coworkers.
Maria Taylor, who's
Maria
very
Taylor.
good. She's one of my faves.
And I'll just play the clip for you because it's controversial because of the diversity issue that was happening at ESPN in the first place. So she was worried about her particular job.
So let me preface it like this. So ESPN has had an issue with diversity on air talent. So you don't need to play this whole thing. It basically goes, if you need to give her more things to do, referring to the African American lady, if you need to give her more things to do because you're feeling pressure about your crappy long time record of diversity, which by the way, I know personally from the female side of it, like go for it, just find it somewhere else. Is it weird? I don't have a problem with this, Eric, because what she's saying, hell yeah, blow your mind. What she's saying, no, you got that. You got that honker. What she's saying, well,
Honker.
God damn, bro.
You can't just have a regular. It was pretty loud.
Damn, foghorn. Anyways, no, but she, to me, like, I don't think this is a racist issue. She's
It didn't
saying,
sound-
she's
yeah.
saying ESPN, and she admits, she's like, you guys have a problem with diversity. And I agree with giving her more jobs, but don't take my job away by giving her more jobs. And everyone goes, oh, this is racist. You're holding this girl down. She's like, no. I'm not saying don't give her more jobs. Don't take away my fucking job. Because Rachel is good at her job. Now, before you chime in, I'll say this. The person she's having a conversation with is LeBron James' management. She's managed by LeBron James' management, which is a caveat to that. And I think Clay Travis pointed this out. If you notice why a lot of players don't want to play with LeBron James, if you notice, LeBron James' management and LeBron James they represent a lot of these people that work at ESPN. If you notice when the Lakers lose a game or he has a bad game, that's not featured on ESPN. He controls the entire narrative. It's never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. So you notice, like, she works for LeBron James' management. They represent her. So when LeBron has a bad game, she's not like, LeBron, what happened? You look terrible out there. Everything, she tiptoes around it, and none of that ever gets addressed, which is a whole nother issue. But go ahead, Eric.
Well, I also talked about this too on my podcast.
What'd you say?
Griffin with Griffin. Make sure to check that out.
Great pod.
Here's the thing. What am I gonna say?
Yep.
It's nuanced.
How so?
What's the word? Nuance.
I'll tell you why. Because this is two different sides and an overall issue. So
She's suffering from the overall issue.
yes, so ESPN has had a long-standing issue of not being diverse and especially for women and people of color. unless you're like some professional athlete that's coming in. So her thing is like, I busted my ass to get to this point.
Rachel Nichols.
Correct. I busted my ass to get to this point, and I'm here at this point right now. And that is a job that I wanted. That's a job that I, have done before. And why am I not doing that again? Okay, whatever her thing is for there.
The NBA Finals.
And so then you have this thing where she's saying, where it comes across as like, listen, just because you haven't been dealing with this issue all this time, and
That's your issue.
Now you all of a sudden want to deal with it, and it makes it look like, why does it have to be me versus her? Why don't you take away one of these slubby ass white boys you got on the
who's not doing shit.
Yeah, why don't you take away somebody else's job? Why does it always have to be, well, we have to have the one woman, so that's that overall issue there.
Now ESPN's so woke, which is the reason why the ratings are in the fucking tank. ESPN is so woke that when this came out, they took her show The Jump, her NBA show, they took that away from her, and now she's not working the NBA Finals at all anymore.
Yeah, so it's like, it sucks because now my other issue about this is, why was this released? I have a problem with that. I have a huge problem with that.
An employee at ESPN released it.
Yeah, I have a huge problem with that. That pisses me off because she's having a conversation with someone she trusts, and she's not being like, it's not like she's saying anything disparaging. She's being like very much like, look, I'm a woman. I've dealt with this too, and like, it's like now I feel like I think she wasn't being in any way vicious.
There's no racism.
There's no racism in it at all. Okay, so she has that issue. Now on the other side of it, for the other one, Maria Taylor,
who's a beast,
she's like,
who's looking for a $9 million contract.
She's going. For her side of it, she's like, yo, yeah, you want to talk about diversity? Try being black and a woman at ESPN. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about that. And so now.
Yeah, but to that point, Eric, she's black and she's a female, and she's asking, I think they offered her $5 million originally. She wants $9 million. She wants Stephen A. Smith money. Hilarious. Not there yet, but that's what she wants. Mm-hmm. Clearly, though, for her to get even $5 million, $9 million, I mean, pretty good gig.
No, I know, but here's the...
So it's like, obviously, they're paying you, and you're good at your job. She's crazy talented.
I know, but here's
that.
Here's the issue. Because of their long-standing issues with diversity and not doing that enough, now when someone like Maria Taylor gets a job, everyone else looks and goes, well, she's only getting this job because she's black and she's a woman. Now, not because of her talents. Mm-hmm. It's just like when Moonlight won. Moonlight won the Oscar. Moonlight won the year that it was Oscars So White.
Yep.
Now, that movement took away from this great movie.
Correct.
Okay? But that's what has to happen to change. So Maria Taylor's sitting there like, yo, I'm talented. I deserve this job too. I deserve this job too.
Talented.
Right. So that's why this is, to me, the fault becomes this company has to change their policies and not doing it this way.
But you don't do it at the expense of Rachel Nichols.
Right.
And also, for that to be leaked, which is insane to me, why that's on the hard drive at ESPN for an employee to find and bring out and fuck over Rachel Nichols is the bigger issue.
I know. And the thing, too, is like, again, divorce yourself of your feelings because and try to see all these sides. And it's hard for people to do that. It's like when you're a person of color, you out here being like, oh, here's a white woman, boom, 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 talking about, and now here we're being held back. It's like, that's a fair, valid feeling. Okay. All right. But you got to divorce yourself of that and look at all of this. Look at this woman's track record. Rachel Nichols works with a lot of black people. She don't hate black people,
Yeah.
Everybody, most of the people on her show are black. She's
but also,
managed by black people.
She's an NBA show. You're obviously going to have to work with black. She works with Richard Jefferson and Perk. And notice, those people stuck up for Rachel Nichols.
Yeah, it's like
anyone she works with is like, hold up, she is not racist in any facet.
Yeah. So this is like, what this is like the Twitter.
This is an ESPN Disney issue. This is a Rachel Nichols homegirl issue. This is an ESPN issue. Unfortunately, Rachel Nichols is suffering from it.
Yeah.
And she lost her fucking job. Have some backbone, ESPN.
Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough issue. It's a tough issue, and it shouldn't just be looked at so surface. And that's what people do. They just look at things on the surface and they think they understand when it's like, this is deeper. And if you listen to her words too, she very much is being like, and I feel I understand even for myself because, here I am, had to bust my ass in the comedy business to get to a certain point. Like even say at the Comedy Store, for instance, to get up at the Comedy Store, I had to do all this work. Now the Me Too movement happens and you have all these people that are always tweeting at the lineup and like, all male lineup again, all male lineup. Yo, take another look. It's still mostly white. So don't take away from me. You're going to take away from me? So I'm lumped in now? I'm lumped in just because, male. But so my perspective is I worked hard to get here. Yeah. So now, like, You're taking away,
But also,
you know what I mean?
Here's my
ahead.
thing with that, Eric. You're to defend the Comedy Store. You're on there on that lineup, the OR, the main room, the belly room. The only reason you're on there, not because you're white, black, trans, whatever, you're on there because you're one of the funniest people at the Comedy Store. Like, that's how the Comedy Store should work.
Yeah, but it's not a meritocracy. It doesn't work.
But it should be.
It should.
But it's not fair that because a woman who's less funny is taking a spot from a
Or
white
anyone.
male or black male or anybody for that matter. If funny should have no race, should have no gender, it doesn't matter. The Comedy Store's job is to make the crowd laugh, male, female, trans. It doesn't matter.
Actually, the Comedy Store's job is to sell tickets and drinks. Okay.
But how do you do that?
And right.
How do you do that?
No, but that's the thing that these people that are saying this need to understand.
They're a restaurant.
They are exactly.
They're a restaurant.
They are a business.
They're a bar restaurant.
And whoever is selling tickets is the people that's going to be on the lineup, right? Regardless if they are funny or not. Okay. So yes, you might want to look at it and be like, this is unfair representation of this, because right now Asian hate is a big thing. So now you got like a lot of the Asian comics who are like, hey, why aren't we getting like? It's like, okay. You're gonna have you want to have is an all Asian lineup gonna sell out? Is it gonna sell out every week? I don't know. You know, they try it someplace and see. Is an all female lineup? I don't know. But that's what they do, and I don't like those kinds of shows.
Yeah. Well, also, I just feel like it's a disrespect to like the Asian people that are on the lineup, the women that are on the lineup. They're not even looking at that.
Yeah.
They're just looking at certain people on those lineups, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, all male lineup." There's women on those fucking lineups. There's everybody
on there every.
That's what I'm saying. So it's when they do that,
you're
it's such a
disrespecting
disrespect to
or Whitney.
Eliza, Whitney, Annie Letterman, all these women that get on Miss
Who are
Pat,
all
like
really funny and talented.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying though is I understand that feeling you might get, the Rachel Nichols feeling, because like if you're white and you work hard and you're a good person and you're not racist, you're lumped in. Regardless.
Correct.
You're just lumped in. So I can understand, as a person of color, I can understand looking out and seeing some white people being like upset of always having to answer to
We're not all racist.
3,000 years of like, and again, ESPN, that's just like, look, hey, white people, y'all fucked up for 5,000 years. This is a result of that. So it's like, yeah. Fix your shit.
Yeah.
So then we can move past this, and but we can't move past it yet because that kind of stuff's still happening. There's still privilege in the world. There's still the wealth is not. There's another wealth disparity.
But this one I don't view as privilege. To me, the shame on this is the issue is you have two talented Rachel Nichols and the other Maria Taylor.
Yeah.
And if I watch Maria all the time, she's a beast.
Yeah, give them both
She's
a job.
So talented.
Why can't they both work?
Yeah, they should both be there.
Yeah.
Take a job from somebody else.
That's what I'm saying.
They
Like, why does it have to be like when you're looking at all of the people that work here, and you're looking at all that, you go, all right, so what we'll do is since she's a woman, we'll take away the like why?
But it's also hard to just say ESPN's a racist organization.
Not saying that.
No, I'm just. But it's also weird to say that they have issues too, because who's their top paid employee?
Yeah, but that's
Stephen A. Smith.
I know,
African American.
Yeah, but that's okay. But because
who's their top basketball analyst? Well, it's Jay Williams or Jalen Rose, African American.
But those the professional athletes, I think, comes from a different that's a different thing. I don't even count them.
Interesting.
I don't because
Why?
they're there because of what they did. They're professional athletes.
Because they're experts in the field.
Yeah, they're experts in the field. Yeah, but it's like that's why they have athletes, and they also have a built-in there's built-in fame and having that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But just because Stephen A. Smith is the highest paid player highest paid one because he had to be exceptional, so he had to be like, I bet you if you looked at all the salaries of ESPN, there's probably some white people that are close to him that are not doing what he does.
His numbers?
They do what he does.
I don't know.
And then you just go like, but I'm saying it's like that's not to point him out and be like, well, because that's like in comedy too. You could be like, well, who's the highest paid comic? Yeah, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart.
They had to
be because they had to be the best.
But so is the white guy.
Yeah, but
like Bill Burr has to be the best. You know what I'm saying?
I know,
but
that's
the market value. That's not a race.
No, I understand that, but it's not. But you can't look at the couple of black people to be like, well, there's no problem. That's all I'm trying to say. You can't look at just because Chappelle and Kevin Hart are the most famous and most, they have the most money, or there's actually no race problem. That's you don't use it because they're not the norm.
don't count?
They're exceptions. They're not the norm.
So how should you look at it?
They're not
Because they're pretty good examples.
I understand, but
Because if you're a white, listen, I'm not defending this, but if you're a white guy, let's say you're a white comic right now. If you're a white male comic, try and get a special on Netflix. Let me know how it goes for you.
well,
It ain't gonna happen.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's true. I mean, how do we know? I mean, if who are the ones trying to get them? Because if you look at these specials, I think it's still happening. I think that the specials that are being given out are to some of them are being given out to people that aren't even as famous or bringing in numbers like Chappelle, and they get in specials.
And they're white.
Yeah,
I have a, and you tell me again. I bring you on because you're so educated. I have a problem saying, "Oh, Dave and Kevin, they don't count."
I'm not saying they don't count.
You can't say
I'm saying
that
they're
exceptions.
I'm saying they're exceptions. They're not the norm. It's not.
But Seinfeld
that
and
norm.
Tosh Point oh and Rogan are the exception for white people.
No, but there's like that. There's a lot of white comedians because look, we can't deny that there's been racism in Hollywood, or there's been there's no denying that.
Over the years?
Yeah, over the years, over the past, that's just our country. Our country was we were racist. We had like Jim Crow laws. We're still dealing with the repercussions of that. Like there was never a time when it was like there was no Jackie Robinson for white people. Okay, so you can't deny that there was like these issues there's still people alive who hated black people. There's grandparents who are alive right now that didn't like that Jackie Robinson was led into baseball. They're still alive today. We haven't weeded that all out yet. We've made huge advancements.
Huge strides.
We've made again,
strides.
and I'm not saying we're like this is the most racist country. No, we've made
it's the
huge
least
strides.
racist. I'd say it's the least racist.
One of the least racist, but it's like the most vocal. And social media is terrible. But what I'm saying is like we have made huge strides, and I see that. I'm definitely not somebody that's like out here talking about, the white man. I'm not just some liberal like that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just talking about like when you look at a company like ESPN, for instance, just saying that company, for instance, they've had a track record from the beginning of it being like, a toxic male place, but it's a fucking sports.
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 Male dominated.
Male dominated thing. So it's sports. And it was mostly white, and it's still mostly white. And so we're making changes, we're making advancements, and things are
Let me ask you,
changing.
is it mostly white because that was the pool they had to sample from?
Well, that's the only pool they sampled from. Not that it was the only.
So if they have 100 applications,
Yeah.
and 5 of those out of the 100, 95 of them are white males. 5 of them are black. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to look at the people that are signing up for these jobs.
Yeah, but the thing is,
It's kind of like the coaching. Remember they made the Jack Rooney rule? You have to interview African American coaches, and then whenever a team would hire just a white guy, like what the fuck, man?
Well,
And they'd be like, yeah, no, we get that, but we had 15 applications. Of those 15, 12 of them were white people.
no, that's not true though. You're talking about a sport that is over 75% black
Playing.
The players are not, and so they're not being represented in management, coaching, general managers, all those things, because they're not being represented. And when your workforce is like that, there's some kind of disparity going on there. So they.
No, but let me ask you this here. Let's say you own a team, right?
But they are. I know, but
But let me say you own a team, and you want the best head coach possible. Do you give a fuck what color he is? You want to win ball games.
I think they. I think that. Yeah, they do. I think if you're a billionaire and you want to feel comfortable and you hire people that look like you, I don't think it's always like so. I don't think racism is always like a negative like connotation to it, where it's like I hate black people so much as like I really like white people.
Or maybe they don't know black people.
They're not in their circle. They're like, well, this guy looks like me.
That's just who they know.
There's nepotism. There's like a lot of other issues.
I'm saying if I owned a team and I have 10 applications, half are white, half are black, right? I don't give a fuck if you're Asian.
Yeah, you might feel that way, but
who is the best head coach?
You might feel that way, but the the white billionaire who's been a white billionaire his whole life from a white billionaire family, he might feel that way. We don't know. Mm-hmm. He might be like, if I had to pick between 10 qualified people and they're all qualified, because what about that? What if all 10 are qualified? Who are you gonna pick?
Well, they're all qualified.
If they're all
to me, who's going to fit my offense or defense or leadership best.
Well, it also is your.
But I
it's
shouldn't
your
get shit because it's a white guy.
I understand that, but the reason why you're getting shit because it's a white guy is because of history. We haven't gotten past it yet. Look, you can just look at sports and see how long it takes to weed out racism. If you look at basketball, it was all white players, all white coaches, white, right? Then they allowed some black players in.
And they took over.
And it was like a few black players, right? Now it was like all black players, mostly black players, but there still wasn't any black coaches. Now we have black coaches,
Yep.
but there still wasn't any black general managers. Now we have like 1 or 2 black general managers.
yeah.
We're still working on it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then now there's only 1 black owner. All right, it took 100 years. So,
But my question for you
in
is,
100 more years,
should it be all black owners then?
I'm not saying it should be all black owners, but I'm saying is that not everyone has the same opportunity to do
Get to that
things
level.
to get to that level.
Get to that opportunity.
Yeah, there's not even people that have like this is. We're talking about generational wealth. I mean, the next generation
to own a team.
Yeah,
But to be in management, it usually goes someone who played before, then they get into coaching.
Not necessarily.
Most of the time, though.
No, not necessarily. I mean, that's the thing they use to like, there are plenty of like white coaches who just were college coaches who maybe played or not and who are coaching in the NBA.
Steve Nash.
No
coaching experience, just went straight to the head coach in the Brooklyn Nets.
I know that's a whole other issue. You can go into like, did he deserve that job? And I think they lost because of his inexperience as a coach.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? I don't think he was ready for that job, and I don't think he should have got that job. He wasn't ready because you could see the choices he made in the final in that game.
But
you don't let Kevin Durant play every single minute. You give him some rest.
But that's
so
all
we
he
can,
had, though, right? Like,
no, that's not all he had. Jeff Green had 27
Yeah,
points.
but you deal with 2 injured players. You're dealing with James Harden and Kyrie Irving's out. So would you keep the same energy if Kyrie Irving, James Harden, and Kevin Durant? I bet you they would have won.
I know. Obviously, your coaching comes in when those people are not there.
Correct.
And how do you make
Manage the
adjustments?
team, yeah.
And he didn't make good adjustments.
You put it on Durant.
To me, I think they lost because of his coaching. But anyway, regardless of that, so maybe he was. I bet Patrick Ewing would have been more qualified for that. He's been an assistant coach now now he works at Georgetown, but he finally got that job. I'm just saying.
Chauncey Billups would have been there.
I'm just saying, like, opportunities are going to happen once generations have to go by. Now there's going to be more black billionaires. So maybe they'll be able to LeBron James's kid will be so wealthy that he'll be able to buy a team. It just takes time.
Yeah.
But people hold on to their power. I mean, there's what land in the country is not owned by somebody. There's no new things,
No, it's all.
you know what I mean? Like, so it's like it's a generational thing, and it's going to take a while to weed those things out. And once time goes by, we'll be better about it. But we are better about it. Race is not it's not as big an issue as Twitter makes it out to be.
No.
But there are people who come from a different era who still remember things. My mom remembers having a lot of prejudice against her. Your parents.
I'm sorry. Was your mom white or was your dad white?
My mom's a person of color, My mom's fair skinned like me. She's mixed like me. But I'm saying is she remembers, having to deal with that, having to deal being a nurse and people like being like, oh, I don't want this, is there a white nurse? That kind of stuff was happening, man. We can't deny that stuff happened. And then so, those feelings are still prevalent in our country, but they're going away. And or it doesn't matter. It's getting to a point now where it don't matter. Like you hate black people, okay, but we're still doing our thing.
It don't matter.
It don't matter.
Yeah.
So that's where we're getting to the point of that. But right now when we're going through this transition, we're gonna have these feelings that you feel, and I respect that feeling. I respect the feeling of white people being like, "Yo, man,
attacked."
Yes. I feel attacked. I'm not racist. I'm not.
Far from it.
Yeah, but you know what? Your great grandfather probably was.
That's not fair to say either, is it?
And this is what the problem is on all levels. That's what women feel like too. So it's like, it's not about like when we talk about the lineup at the Comedy Store or any comedy club where we go like, well, there's funny women, but there's other women who are saying, I don't have those same opportunities. How do I even get to the point where I can be seen? Where I can be on the same level?
It's a different conversation, right? Because Eliza and Whitney became undeniable. Like, you put me on stage because I'm funny as fuck.
Yeah, but
because they used to be those women, right? Like, they figured it out.
But again, those are examples of people who work through it.
But those are the people you got to point to. Those are the North Star, right?
I understand, but not everybody still feels like they have the same opportunity. Just because a couple of people broke through the fact that they had to break through
You're
is
saying
the
they're
problem.
the exception.
The fact that they had to break through is the problem. When you get the sense that other people didn't necessarily have to break through, they just kind of like moseyed their way in. You know, it was like, here you go.
But how do we know if people just mosey? Not everybody just moseys their way
I
in.
know, and that's the reason why it should be
nuance.
based off of talent, but it's not, because look,
can't
as
be.
much as I'm talking shit about like the pretty privilege and all that stuff, it is an image business. It is important to look your best, be your best. It's so it's like, I don't care, like, you some funny ugly person, what movie you gonna be in? You know what I mean? Like, this is an image business too. So I get why
You're selling merch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you got your, that's a thing. That's part of it too. So it's like, that's, and then people seem to forget that, we had this kind of like romanticized feeling of comedy that it's about the funniest people. And it's like, I figured out a long time ago that it ain't about just being funny. It's about stuff, man. It's other things. It's about connecting with your fan base. It's about, again, image. If people find you attractive, if people find like, all these kinds of things are
Also,
a part of
comedy's
it.
weird because what your fan might find funny in your set, Eliza's fan doesn't think it's funny at all.
Or
It's
people-
all-
Yeah.
It's like music. Like, you
Or
might
people-
hate Drake. I love
Exactly.
Drake. To
Yeah.
me, he's fire.
Or
You
people
don't-
aren't even coming because they think the person is like funny. Funny might not even be the first thing.
Correct.
Like, there are people that say would like someone like Eliza, for instance. I have a friend of mine, the guy that sold me my car. He's this young gay dude. He loves her. And he was like, I love her so much. And it was like, can I go to the club? And she took a picture with him. I said, okay, Eliza, this guy really likes you. And she was like, sure. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, I don't know if it was all just because he thought she was funny so much as like
What she represents.
Yeah, how he connected to what the things she
Something.
was saying.
Yeah.
So it's not like, again, the comics, you need to stop romanticizing funny. Making it out like it's just about, I got to make this crowd laugh.
It's the whole package.
Yeah.
It's the whole package. You got to connect.
Bigger picture.
You got to connect it. You got to, like, and it's, sometimes you just don't do that. I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm still struggling
Well,
to
there's
try to
hilarious
figure this shit
comics who
out.
don't connect. I know some savages. We're like, dog,
Speak.
how are you not making tens of millions of dollars a year? He's like, you tell me, dog. I
know.
can't sell tickets. I'm like,
I
you're the
think-
best joke writer in the world. He's like, yep, people don't care.
It is, man. I mean, it is what it is, dude. I mean, so it's like you have to sit here and, like, you're not deserved things. It's just like you figure it out. You don't know what it is. Sometimes it just works. I mean, look at you, man. It's not everybody would say you're the funniest guy in the world. I mean, you know that. You struggle with that yourself of being like, I want respect as a comic, and you're working. But it's like there are people who like are always getting on you about that guy's not funny.
Yeah.
It don't matter. There's something about your personality. There's something about your charisma that you have thousands and hundreds of thousands of people who are like, we love Brendan Schaub and I want to go see his comedy regardless if we think it's funny or not. And so there's something there. And that's the thing that people don't understand. And I've been a victim of that because I'm older, so I come from a school of, like, it was about building up your brand in the clubs, and you got introduced to Hollywood, and you wanted to get on a sitcom, and you wanted to do your Beverly Hills Cop movie, and it was like a whole different way of building up. And now we have this new thing where you have these podcasts where people are connecting and they think they know you.
yeah.
You're like that, you're the big brother that they love, and it's like whatever. So it's like so anybody out there that's like, I don't think Brendan Schaub is funny, it's like, so you know what I mean? It's like, who cares? So it's like, that is the whole package that people have to, like, start to look at. And so what people might be saying when they're looking at, like, a place that they're not giving everybody the opportunity to show their whole package, and they're not getting that opportunity because maybe they're, because people might think it's because, well, they're not white, or they're not whatever,
There's something.
or there's something.
Yeah.
And the people that are in charge are like, well, we want people that look like this, or we want, or it's tribal. It's not always, again, the result could be the same, but it's not always laced in, like, racism.
Yeah, it could be tribal.
People are just tribal too.
Yep.
People are like, I like
Connect with
people
their
that
own.
look like me.
Yep.
Like, women are allowed to do this all the time. Girl power, like, we're going to go see the girls, whatever, because they're women, we're doing it because they're women, it's like, and we seem to be okay with that, but why? Because there hasn't been enough opportunities.
Yep.
There's not enough opportunities. So,
It's interesting.
anyways, I feel you, and that's what I'm trying to say is out here. Like I've said it a billion times. It's a nuanced conversation, and it's like I
love this word.
I don't think that because people need to understand. Like I don't think that like all white people are bad or like but it's like don't fool yourself into think though that like just because there are a few people you can point to like hey look at Kevin Hart, that means the black issue is solved. No, this is an exception, not the rule. There's still people who they feel like they're not getting the same opportunities as other people. So once we can level that playing field, it's just going to take time.
Yep.
It's going to take time.
But it's getting better.
It's getting better. It's a lot better. We can't sit here and be like, oh my God, we had a black president.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We can look at like, like the look at sports. You look at the NBA, you could see it now. We talk about these guys are becoming moguls. They're out there. They're making schools and they're doing things for the community. And they're like trying to, who knows what we'll be in another 100 years. But, we can't always just sit in the past and use Twitter headlines as a way of like,
defining people.
We can't do that.
It's always that.
Anything else, Jen?
One more.
All right, let's end on
Shit.
this one. One more?
This one here, Dan
This
Lambert.
is great. Why do you have a picture of?
It just plays videos over and over. So
So
there's
Dan
different
Lambert
videos.
plans $500 a month endorsement deal for every Miami Hurricane football player on scholarship. Dan Lambert is the guy who started
ATT,
the
American Top Team.
world-famed American Top Team, where all the, Jorge Masvidal, Amanda Nunes, Dustin Poirier, Woodley, Pitbull, Thiago Alves, a lot of people. So what he's doing, he wants to make Miami football great. He's giving every single player $500 on the team, and then he's bringing in other big-time companies to pay these players too. So if you're a college kid, say they get 4 or 5 companies, you're making $3-4 grand a month. Play at Miami University, dude. That's life-changing for those kids.
Fuck yeah.
No, I think that's what I think they've been exploited for years.
Oh my God.
They've
No
been
bigger
exploited for years.
corruption than NCAA.
But I still have a problem with it though.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, because I think that like I think that as long as they need to start talking about like wealth management and those types of things need to come into play, or it should be a type of thing where it's like at a certain point the money is put into a trust, and then when you graduate you get all the money or something. But I don't know, man. It's
I agree. There's something there.
there's something. I don't know if that's the
something to
answer.
structure.
But you can't give the 20-year-old, let's say, because I think who was it? Master P's son, who's a baller in NCAA basketball. He signed a $2 million endorsement deal. So it's like, I don't know if you give that 20-year-old the $2 million right away. Maybe you give him
But
whatever.
he's probably okay because he got his dad.
But let's say it's not his dad. Let's say it's another player who signed a $2 million deal. To your point, maybe give him $5,000 a month so he survives and he's doing well. Then at the end of the gig, he gets the rest.
I'm just saying it's tough, and you're
so much
going to
money for
have
a
a
20-year-old.
situation. I know that already happens to NBA players.
Oh, all the
It
time.
already. You remember that 30 for 30 about the football players who lost all their money?
Yeah, 30 for 30 going broke.
Yeah, going broke. I mean, so this is an issue. So hopefully that the colleges,
that's what I was
the
gonna
colleges have to step in and be like, okay, because they have those combines for the players, like the women are going to come at you. They're going to be like, punch me in the face. Like that guy missed the class.
No,
You know what I mean?
He's like, I don't need that.
Yeah, he skipped that day.
But
So that kind of stuff.
every league has that, but it's just they hear it and you hear these horror stories, but it's just
But maybe this is also going to teach
at a younger
professional
age.
athletes how to be a professional athlete in college because that's
Right.
their profession.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm a professional
Because
freaking
the
athlete.
UFC does the same thing. They fly out. I don't know if they still do it. When I was fighting, they'd fly out all 300 players, and you would sit down. They'd have financial people come in, former fighters come in, tell you about like things your family's gonna be asking for this, your money here. You be smart, and they try to help you out. But it's like it's one time out of your entire.
Well, maybe
career.
they can do some kind of incentive program too, where it's like if you have endorsements, you don't get them unless you have a minimum 2.0 GPA or some shit like that.
Yeah.
You encourage the education part of it too. Like you have to have this amount of things. So then I bet you, having a good grades, it ain't gonna be even more than just like, well, I want to play. It's
want
gonna
my
be
money.
about I want my money.
The money. Yeah.
And
Now you
figure
get
out
the money.
something, though.
They'll figure out something, but either way, there's gonna be some good. There's gonna be some
Yeah.
bad. But
I think it's dope. Lambert's
structure
doing
that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But it's
really
gonna happen all over the place. It's happening everywhere. Everywhere.
Our clients had meetings with us about it.
Oh really?
Yeah, because student athletes. Well, I play for Syracuse.
Oh really? What'd you play?
I play softball,
Softball?
and we've had some meetings.
You know what? Now I see the shoulders.
We've had some meetings about it because you actually don't have the rights to the school colors or the logo. So they were
Right.
saying people were reaching out asking you for pictures in your uniform, and we aren't allowed to give it.
God damn.
Yeah.
NCAA is savage.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what?
something with the NLA.
Like, you can do it, but
You know
no
who's
Right.
gonna make
Name and
bank?
likeness.
You know who's gonna make bank? Women's volleyball. They gonna make bank. I love women's volleyball for a lot of
I
reasons.
also enjoy it myself.
And I think that they should be a professional. It should be a professional league. But I hope that this trickles down to them because they're gonna be the ones that's gonna be making the most money.
Bro, there was a video, I think it was on
They're
World
dope.
Star or Barstool, of this black girl playing beach volleyball. Bro, her ass.
has a
Her ass
female
was-
volleyball player
Look.
as one of their Barstool athletes.
Yeah, Barstool was signing a lot of
Yeah,
athletes.
she's
But they had
a
this black girl
baddie.
with this ass. Like, bro, how can you concentrate on the goddamn game? I mean, it was insane.
Oh, look at that! I had some other day. My shitty website is still up, and I keep getting. You know how many emails I get from this podcast alone? People are like, dude, I gotta help you with your website. Please keep emailing me. I'm gonna do it. I finally got somebody to help me with my podcast. I got somebody helping me with that, so I'm finally got that. Even though he hates the guy, but
What? You know him.
let's not get into it.
Yeah, sorry. We'll do it off.
I don't want to hear their personal shit right now on my shit. 'Cause I don't give a
He's
fuck.
like, well, 2 years ago.
Yeah. It's some shit.
Where you
whatever.
at?
So yeah, but I'm coming up. Hey, I'm going to Vegas. I got Laugh Boston. I got
What you doing next Friday and Saturday?
next Friday and Saturday. I think I'm still in town.
You want to do some spots with me at Haha's?
Yeah, let's do it. I'll be there.
Fuck
Let's go. Boom.
Next Saturday, Friday, Saturday, I'm at Haha's Shopping
Ha-Ha's.
Friends. July 16th, 17th.
You can start calling me Thick Daddy.
Thick Daddy. Thick Daddy Griffin over here. And then Tacoma, Washington's July 29th and July 31st, Tacoma, Washington.
Who would love that place?
Tacoma Comedy Club. Las Vegas got rescheduled. Raleigh, North Carolina, August 19th through the 21st.
Raleigh?
What do you call it?
Well,
Raleigh?
he been saying it the whole time.
Raleigh?
I do it different every time. I hit all. And then just went on sale. Well, this should be today. La Jolla Comedy Club, August 27th through August 29th. San Jose Improv, September 9th through 11th. San Antonio, the Big Boy Bud Light Event Center out there by the AT&T Arena.
Okay, stop
Presale
bragging at this point.
code is
Jesus.
thick,
Okay, you
September
work.
25th. There's all that. But hey, this Saturday, the first Fight Companion, Calabasas Fight Companion, Cody Garbrandt, Bradley Martin, and Josh Thompson, myself, doing the first Calabasas Fight Companion from the new studio. Starts at 7 p.m. Pacific, UFC 264, the main
from
card
Calabasas?
we're doing. Calabasas Fight Club. You can get it, watch it live on the Thick Boy YouTube channel. That's it, Doug.
And then I'll be in Baltimore next week at Magoobies, July 15th through the 17th, Eric's favorite club. And then Brea, August 26th.
That's it, kids. Love
That's
you.
it.